Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Just a really quick introduction here. This is a special Halloween edition of the podcast. This is me and one of my good friends from Bookstagram, Cam Skip, also known as skipbassman. He and I just BS'd for about 3-ish hours, so I really hope you guys enjoy it. We talk about horror movies and we kind of go off on some tangents. It was a really fun time, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. Just a quick note, I am a dumbass and forgot to hit record, so you're gonna get the first 10-ish minutes of my end not being so clear because it's from the Skype recorder and not my actual recording program, so it'll get better about 10 minutes in or so just bear with me on that little bit. So really hope you guys enjoy this special Halloween episode. It's going to be going all month long. I have special episodes planned out for it, so really hope you enjoy it. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, I believe it. I was just getting to bed around that time last night, actually.
Oh, damn. I remember those days.
Yeah, well, I had the house to myself, so I was like, I'm gonna drink way too many beers and watch horror movies. So,
God damn, that sounded like fun.
It was.
That's the whole reason why we're here is horror movies. So there we go.
Exactly. All right.
How's the horror-thon going?
It's good. It's good. I think I've only missed one day. And usually I'll miss a couple here and there, but it's always a movie that I have already known or seen.
Oh, okay.
So I'll always make a point to watch the ones that I haven't yet. And, yeah. So, and then I'll probably catch up on it later on. It was, Friday, Dracula Dead and Loving It, which I haven't seen that in years. So I'd really like to watch it, but
I was just looking at the list right before I, got on here, and I forgot that you had that one on there, and I was so bummed I missed that day, but it's not like I can't go back and watch it.
Well, exactly. You can just, there's no set rules here where, you missed it, you can't watch it.
Yeah.
You're forbidden to watch movies that you missed.
Gotta wait till next year.
Yeah.
There was another one. Oh, it was that I'm excited to watch because I have yet to see it, and that's Halloween 3.
Oh, you've never seen Halloween 3?
I've never seen Halloween 3. I was in that group of people like, it doesn't have Michael Myers, I'm not going to watch it. But, I've heard it's not bad.
It's actually a fantastic movie. I really like it. And I would have loved to live in that alternate dimension where we actually got like anthology movies instead of just Michael Myers ones. Because Halloween 3, I thought it was fantastic, and it's really dark, and yeah, it kind of, it's really good. It's really dark, and then they went into Halloween 4, which is garbage, and continued on that road.
Yeah, now knowing what came after Halloween 3, it's like, it would have been really nice to see what they would have kept doing with their whole anthology films.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it would have been cool to see what they had in the canon next.
Yeah. But instead, no, we got some garbage movies. So.
What's your favorite of the Halloween series?
Halloween series.
I feel like the obvious one would, you got to say the original, but
yeah, the original is probably probably my favorite from the series. There's actually a handful of them that I haven't seen. I was going through, I'd seen, the Rob Zombie. I don't think I've seen the second Rob Zombie one.
You're fine on that one.
But yeah, take it or leave it, right? But then I was going through, because it's like, I don't know, in the past year or something, I'm like, you know what? I've never watched all the Halloween movies, so I'm gonna go through them chronologically. And then I got to number 4, and I watched it, and then I'm like, nah, I'm done. I'm out. Like there's only a handful of movies that I loathe on this planet, and Halloween 4 is one of them. It just burned me so bad. I think I hate it as much as I hate AVPR.
Oh, really?
And I really hate AVPR.
It's been so long. I think I've probably only seen it once. I just like the fact that they made it rated R and weren't trying to be like, okay, well, we made the first one PG-13, didn't work out so well. Let's just make this one a hardcore R, which was cool, but yeah, the end result definitely could have been a lot better.
And like the Predalien looked cool. Like on paper, I really wanted to like AVPR, and I went back and watched it a couple of years ago. I was like, okay, you know what? I haven't seen this since it came out. I'm gonna sit down again because it can't be as bad as I think it was.
Yeah,
and it was worse. Just because it's like, hey, here's all these characters that are complete garbage, and you're not going to care about them, and then we're just going to brutally murder them. And even though it's, you know, the hard R and it's super fun with all the gore, you're just like, I just don't care. Like, I'm not invested in this movie at all.
Yeah.
It was brutal. I did like the new one though, the Predator. That was fantastic.
I was just going to ask you about it because I saw it on vacation and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love the humor in it. You know, I was really worried though because of all the humor. And I mean, it's a Predator movie, so you're like, people are going to start dying. And
yeah,
am I gonna like, are they gonna be goofy deaths? Am I gonna care like when they start killing them off? But surprisingly, when they did, there was some really cool and heart-wrenching death scenes, I thought, in that movie.
And they were pretty damn brutal too. Like,
yeah,
you know, they got you like these characters, and it's like, oh, if they die, they're gonna just get shot, and we'll cut away real quick. It's like, no.
Oh, it's brutal.
It was pretty cool because I went and saw that. I was on vacation in Washington visiting my family, and that day I happened to be visiting my mom, and it was my actual birthday, and she's like, hey, you want to go to a movie? What do you want to see? And she's like, this is what's playing at the theater near us. And I looked and I was like, oh god, there's nothing playing other than the Predator. And she's like, okay, let's go see the Predator.
I don't know. Is your mom cool with horror movies? Is she?
Yeah. She doesn't mind blood and guts and all that. Actually, we actually got to talking about Halloween because she was around 17 or 18 when that came out, and she said she went and saw it with one of her friends, and they were, I guess you can call it professional babysitters at the time, so that
freaked them out.
Really scared the shit out of them, yeah. I watched that the first time on my own in an empty house when I was 9 or 10, and pitch black outside. I probably watched it at 8 o'clock at night. I don't know why I was home alone, actually. I may not have been 9. I was probably 10 or 11, but nonetheless, in an empty house, watching Halloween for the first time will scare the shit out of you.
Oh, yeah, that'll spook you a little bit.
I don't know why I decided to finish it. I was freaked out the whole time. I could have changed the channel at any moment, but I didn't.
Well, at least you got through it.
Yeah.
I suppose.
I don't think it's...
And maybe it made you like the horror genre a little bit more since...
I think so, because I do remember turning it off and being like, that was a really good movie. Now I don't want to leave this room.
Right. No, I used to love watching all the old horror movies.
I would watch so many of them when I was younger, and even though they were scaring the shit out of me, I still kept watching it. Like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I watched that way too young.
Yeah.
But that movie's got a reputation for being... well, not only one of the scariest movies of all time, but also one of the bloodiest movies of all time. But it's funny when you go back and watch it, you see next to no blood the whole movie.
Oh yeah, it's all that the theater of the mind kind of thing, right? You lead up to something and you plant that seed, and then the human mind just takes it somewhere more darker than you could really show, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, less is more. That's the term, I guess. In film.
Yeah, I guess they were just going with the sheer brutality of it, because, like, you know, when I can't remember her name now, but when she gets put up on the meat hook, it's like you don't even see her really getting placed on it. You just know it happened, but there's no blood, there's no nothing. But I think for the sheer brutality of it, you're just like, holy shit, this is extreme. Oh,
and the sound when Leatherface smacks the guy with the hammer on the head.
That is like the worst part of the whole movie. Like I love that movie. Every time that comes up, I'm always right. Like, I'm not a cover my eyes person, but I get really close to it anytime that scene comes up.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's my Thanksgiving movie, actually. My Canadian Thanksgiving movie.
Oh, is that
That's
today?
tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh, right on.
Tomorrow. Well, it's Thanksgiving Sunday, I guess, but we always get a holiday, stat holiday on the Monday. So
Oh, that's pretty cool.
yeah, I'm gonna be. And there's a big joke in my family that I always. Well, I kind of made up the joke, I guess, and my mom hates this, but I always seem to spend Thanksgiving alone. Like my family's either in one, like when they'll go to the city because my grandma's down there and my brother's not far from there, so they'll all get together down there. And I'm like, I can't go. Like I got work and all this other stuff. And then like last year, I went to a hockey game down in the city with some of my coworkers, and it was on Thanksgiving. So I'm like, I guess I'm away from my family again. So I don't know. I'm like, I'm just gonna sit at home and watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre by myself, have some beers, maybe get a pizza. You know,
That sounds like a damn good Thanksgiving to me.
right.
I mean, nothing better than pizza, beer, and horror movies.
Yeah, that's the dream, right there.
Going back to the actual Halloween movies, did you like the first Rob Zombie one?
Like honestly, I think I'd seen parts of the original Halloween, but I think that I watched the Rob Zombie one in its entirety before I watched the original.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and like because and it wasn't until a few years ago that I made it through all the Elm Street movies too. I was more of a Friday the 13th guy when I was younger, and I mean, there's so many horror movies out there. But I can't remember exactly when I watched the Rob Zombie one for the first time. It must have been when it was already out on home video. Is that still a term? Do people use home video?
I think so. Home media. Yeah.
Home media. Yeah, you can. This was before you could stream it, kids.
Yes.
But I watched it and it was okay. I mean, I think I'd already been a little familiarized with Rob Zombie's style with House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects, which I thought were pretty good movies. And then, or I guess they're great movies. There's going to be that one person that's listening and be like, Rob Zombie makes great movies. Okay, don't talk shit about my Rob Zombie. Quick aside here. I actually said we were talking about in my English class, my teacher brought up Cronenberg for some reason.
Oh.
So we were talking about body horror and The Fly and stuff, and she's like, she saw it when it came out when she was 8, and she's like, I've never seen it since and stuff. And then one of the other girls in the class is like, oh, you don't like really violent stuff? Like, well, how do you feel about Rob Zombie? And then I was like, from across the room, like, yeah, his movies are crap, but I guess they're all right. And she didn't look too happy about that. But this girl, not the teacher. The teacher was like, "Yeah, take it or leave it," kind of thing. But Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween. I don't know. It was all right. I like how Danny Trejo's in the movie. That was, that was nice. And I don't know. There's better things out there, I guess.
I
how
think
do you feel about it?
Well, I mean, I liked. Oh, actually, coincidentally, I did go see that remake with my mom in the theater. She thought it was going to be kind of cool seeing a remake of it at that time. What was it, 30-ish years later? 30 years later? Yeah, I think so. And I like the fact that he didn't go full remaking it. The majority of it, or at least the first half of it, is all semi-original. It's got doesn't have nothing to do with the first one, but it's all backstory, which is something you don't really see in the original Halloween.
Yeah, it's not that young Michael backstory that none of us asked for.
Yeah, at least I thought that was cool that he decided to do something a little bit different. It would be kind of interesting to see like a super cut of that where you get the opening of the original Halloween with him, and then you cut to basically the first half of Rob Zombie, and then just go back right when he escapes, go right back to the original one, just because you have that backstory. But I mean, overall, I thought it was fine. But the second one, I remember it not liking it whatsoever the first time I watched it, and then a few years passed, and I was like, you know what, I'll give it another go. And about midway through, I was just like, God, I remembered why I hate this movie so much.
It's your AVPR.
Yeah, it just. I don't know what he was trying to do with that one. I think that's because that was his wholly original Halloween movie. He wasn't taking anything from anywhere, and it just, I'm very up and down on Rob Zombie movies. Like, I don't care for House of a Thousand Corpses, but I like The Devil's Rejects. I really wanted to like Lords of Salem, but I was just bored out of my mind the whole time.
Yeah, that's what one of my friends said, that it's the most boring portrayal of Satanism ever filmed.
Yeah.
And, yeah. I was like, oh great, I'll avoid it like the plague then.
It because the trailers made it seem like it was going to be his kind of art house style movie, like Suspiria and things like that. So that's what really intrigued me. But then I watched it and I was just like, oh my God, how boring is this?
But you know, people are going to pay money for it because it's Rob Zombie.
Yeah. I started his latest, that 31.
I heard that was pretty terrible too.
Oh, really? We didn't get too far. We were having issues with the copy we had because we didn't get it legally.
Okay.
Yeah. So that might be the universe either telling me like, hey, you shouldn't be doing this. You can take that as you shouldn't have downloaded this illegally, or it could take it as you shouldn't have downloaded this to watch it at all.
You just shouldn't watch. You shouldn't watch this.
Yeah, I know he has a new one coming out.
Isn't that the Devil's Rejects 3 or whatever?
I think it's a different one. I could be wrong though.
Because you heard about that, right? He's making a third one, and I don't know what the hell it's gonna. I don't know. It's gonna be okay. So Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. This is something that always bothered me about the first one. Because in the original John Carpenter, you know, he gets shot, he falls out the window, and then he's gone.
Yeah.
In the Rob Zombie one, she shoots him in the fucking head.
Yeah. Blood flies all over her.
And then what? And then he's fine? No, I can't. So how about we look at the second movie? Like it's the dying. It's his brain like dying, and it's his last, and that's why it was so weird and great. And saying this, I haven't seen the second one yet. I have it. I own a copy of it. I found it at the thrift store, and I was like, why not?
Yeah. I want to say they almost go it just grazed his head route, but it's like, did you not see the amount of blood that flew on her face after she shot him? I think that's where they went, but I might be wrong. And this isn't like ruining anything for the second one as much as
I don't care.
I was gonna say as much as you can ruin it. I think the thing that I really hated about it was it was a very brutal movie. Like the way Michael kills people and who he kills, like just sometimes I like that because I like, oh man, they really went for it. But this one was just a little bit too much, but also there were way too many quote unquote dream sequences of him talking to his mom, and it's all glossy and she's all in a white dress and she's got like I was going to say a unicorn, but I think it's just a white horse. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, God.
Rob Zombie.
Yep. It's not the worst Halloween movie in the franchise, so
I can't really remember 4 or 5. I know that's like when the whole psychic thing starts to happen, right?
No, I think it's at the end of 5, maybe. Because it's
okay.
like 4 introduces Laurie's daughter that was like given up for adoption or something, or because Laurie's dead, and then it's like, oh, it's your Uncle Michael, and then she like puts on the fucking clown suit at the end and kills somebody, and that's the
right.
4th one, and that's when I was like, nope, I'm done. So I haven't seen the 5th one, and then what was it? Halloween Resurrection? Is that the next one?
No, I think the next 6 is the one with Paul Rudd.
Yeah, 6. Fuck, what was 6?
Curse of Michael Myers?
That was 5.
One was The Return.
4 is The Return.
Damn it, I have it right. I have it right here in front of me too. Let's see. Halloween.
Was it Curse?
The Return of Michael Myers is number 4, yes.
Yeah.
And then The Revenge of Michael Myers
is
number 5.
Okay.
And then The Curse is number 6, and then Resurrection is
and then H2O.
You know, I really like H2O.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have it, but I don't know. I'll get to it. Okay. But I keep hearing that it's a great movie.
I mean, yeah, definitely comparatively to some of the others, it's really good. And you know, I don't know if you listen to the Halloweenies podcast?
I haven't. I
It's
know.
the Losers Club that does it.
Yeah,
which,
yeah.
Which congratulations to you on being on that damn podcast. I would
Yeah,
have loved to be on there.
that was a lot of fun. I had
I
to wake up
bet.
early though, so I felt a little drowsy when I was going through it. But
Oh shit, really? Oh, because is that just when they were able to do it, or?
it was like the night after I had a bar shift, so I got home at like 3, got to sleep at 4, had to wake up at like I don't know 10 or something
Oh shit.
to get on there at 11. But then it was like, we're gonna be another half hour. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna go make some coffee and maybe splash some water on my face.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good.
Um,
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was gonna say because they chronicle each Halloween movie every month leading up to the new one. And they were saying how a lot of us will look at that one as the ending of that particular story arc, which I don't want to spoil that one for you, so I don't know if you know how it ends.
Which one, H2O?
Yes.
Which one is it that? Because I've watched like things on all the Halloween movies, so I'm pretty sure I know. Is that the one where? Because Laurie's alive in that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
She comes back. She dies in Resurrection,
yes.
And then it's just like H2O is like, hey, guess what? That last one didn't happen.
Well, no, it's flip flopped. It was H2O and then Resurrection, and she's in H2O throughout the whole movie.
Oh, she is in H2O. Oh yeah. Is that one where she kills him at the end, but it turns out it wasn't him?
Yes.
Yeah. See, I know my Halloween.
See, because it would have been the ending to that movie would have been a perfect ending to the franchise. Like, had you known that was going to be the last one, I feel like you would have stood up and clapped at the end and just been like, damn right, that was a good ending. And then all of a sudden, 2 years later, hey, here's this really terrible Resurrection movie.
And here's another one. He's like, we did too well in that last one. We need to make a shit Halloween movie now.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in a theater, Rob Zombie watched H2O, and then he watched Resurrection. He's like, if I ever remake these, I need to make a pretty good one and then a really shit one.
Yeah. And he definitely succeeded in that feat, that's for sure. Yeah, this second, I just cannot do his second one.
I'll get to it eventually, I guess. I've seen worse, I'm sure.
I mean, have you ever seen the Human Centipede movies?
No, I haven't seen those.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I will say the first one, for being what it is good, which is just a straight up horror movie.
Yeah.
I would never tell anybody to watch the second one because maybe it's just me and what they showed in it. Like, I almost felt offended. I was just like, the hell, who would do this? Because the shit inside of that movie was just beyond anything I'd ever seen, and not in a good way.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Like, after, I remember, because my buddy and we had watched the first one, and then he was like, hey, the second one's on Netflix, let's watch it. And we were like, all right, why not? And then we got to the end of it, and he just kind of looked at me, and he was just like, hey, man, I'm gonna go home. I was like, yeah, I want to be alone for a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I'll avoid that one.
Yeah, I've never seen the third one. I don't want to. So,
I don't know. I've dealt enough with shitty situations in my life that I don't want to watch something like that.
Yeah, because there's fun horror movies that are very extreme and brutal, and there's other ones that are just like, why?
Make this. Who hurt you that you have
that you're imagining hurting while you're filming this?
Right.
Oh man. So you said you were more of a Friday the 13th person growing up?
Yeah, I was when I was younger. Because those are the ones that for some reason, my parents let me rent those. And I remember watching the first few, and then it wasn't. I don't know. Then my other buddy, he had because I grew up in Peace River, and I don't know if the people listening aren't familiar with the layout of Alberta. It's kind of this small town in like northern Alberta. It's like in the middle of a valley. So I lived in town, and all the people in my class and all my friends lived on acreages like away from the town, 15 minutes out of town or whatever. So and one of my friends, he yeah, I had one of them big dish satellites, and they'd always so, what do we call it? You don't stream movies on a satellite. I guess you order movies or something, and then they just
Yeah.
so they had all these VHS tapes of recorded movies, and we'd always watch all the horror ones. So that's where I first met Freddy. We stayed up one night and watched the first Nightmare on Elm Street, and damn, that movie freaked the hell out of me.
Oh, I bet.
But it was fantastic. I loved it. And then a lot of like really bad horror movies that I can't even remember, like really shit ones, but we were really young, so we're just like, oh man, like this is super freaky, But I don't know. Friday the 13th, they're good. I think I like Elm Street more now though, as I've matured.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Friday the 13th movies. Like they're for what they are. They're very good. They can be very scary, and they're violent, but they're also very hammy too. You know?
I think they know what they are.
Exactly. Which, like the Friday the 13th series, I'm sorry, the Nightmare on Elm Street series. I know Wes Craven never wanted Freddy to be a wisecracker and all that.
Right.
So they just kind of ran with that in the later movies, which, I mean, I do like that. That to me is kind of what makes Freddy.
Yeah, he's that is the MTV horror monster.
Exactly.
But that's why sorry. Because last night was on the Horrorthon was Nightmare 4.
Yeah.
Which I think, and I talked briefly with Mike Rothman on this when I was on the Losers Club. How it's I think it's the best Friday. No shit. Nightmare on Elm Street. And like everybody likes the third one, right? But I think the fourth one was that perfect blend of horror and campiness, because it had a lot of really silly parts, but it was also like, damn, like this is still pretty freaky. Like some of the deaths are like the roach death.
I was just gonna say, is that the one with the roach death?
Yeah, it's the roach death. That was fucking creepy, and I didn't like it because body horror shit, and just it's gross.
Is that? It might even be the same death. Is that when the dude is working out?
It's the girl. It's her friend, and she's like pumping up she's doing the weights, and then Freddy like rams it down, and her arms like split off.
Ugh.
And then like the roach arms come. Yeah, it's creepy. Ugh.
It's been so long since I've seen from 4 up until the last one of the original series, but not New Nightmare, because I've seen New Nightmare quite a bit. I like that one a lot.
That one's really, I liked it. Was meta before it was cool to be like make a meta movie.
Yeah.
So like props to Wes Craven for doing that, right?
And that he went straight back to straight up horror for it.
Yeah, I really liked it. But Freddy's Dead. You're thinking the final Nightmare?
Yeah, is that the one that was 3D all
death?
3D, yeah.
Had Alice Cooper as Freddy's dad.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and like the flashbacks, and you're like, "Oh, come on, boy, come on, and give you the belt." And you're like, "Oh, Freddy was just an abused child, and that's why he is the way he." Like, we don't need that. Just that's almost taking away from his scariness. I guess it's trying to humanize him, because then it was like his daughter was there too.
Oh yeah.
Movie. That was the main protagonist was Freddy's daughter, and you're just like, "What is this? What even? I don't even know. This is fucking garbage." The best part of that movie, I think, is there's a Goo Goo Dolls song at the start during the credits. What's it called? I'm Awake Now. And I thought that was it's a rad tune, and I liked it. That's the one thing with the Nightmare series too. It's either hit or miss for the music. Like,
yeah, it could either fit so well or just be really cheesy.
Yeah.
I'm definitely someone who thinks I was gonna say, I think the third one is, I don't want to not say the best, but it's definitely my favorite of them.
It's definitely scarier than the ones afterwards.
Yeah, they get really creative with the deaths, but whereas some of them you can kind of laugh because it's so over the top, these are just like, holy shit! Like that's pretty crazy.
I do think that the Welcome to primetime bitch is overrated, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know a lot of people hate that line. I think it's one of those ones. The first time you watch it, it was pretty funny, but then after that, it's like, okay, this is kind of stupid.
Right. If you watched it back in 1980, whatever, you're probably like, oh my god, that. Oh geez, who's the writer on this? That's fantastic. Yeah, now you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah, that was definitely the MTV coming out, MTV generation coming out right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have a? Oh, go ahead.
What? Oh no! You still got? I was gonna jump to something else, but do you still got some Nightmare on Elm Street stuff, or what were you?
Oh no! I was gonna jump to something else, but go right ahead.
Oh, well, I was gonna. I think that I watched a movie last night that I think it's gonna be a contender for my favorite good bad movie. Have you ever seen Slumber Party Massacre?
If I have, it's been a very long time.
Oh my god! I watched this movie for the first time last night, and it made me so happy. It was so ridiculously awesome.
And, I saw that you were watching it, and it made me really curious.
Yeah, like because I thought, oh, it's just gonna be some shitty slasher flick or whatever, and essentially it's like, oh, this mental patient has broken out of jail or broken out of the home or whatever. He's going around with this big power drill and just like brutally murdering people.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it's just like, and these girls are having a sleepover, a slumber party or whatever, and it's just like, oh, what's gonna happen, right? And there's like the new girl who lives next door to like the popular girl, and she was invited to the party, but they're all mean, so she's gonna stay home with their sister while the girls are all there, and all this crazy shit is going down. I really liked it. As soon as the movie started out, there's like the radio goes on, and this woman's screaming, and she's like, just won this prize on the radio, and she's like, oh my god, like, what is it, $100 or a TV or a fridge? Is like, hey, get a brand new station T-shirt. And I worked in radio for 3 years, and I fucking died when I heard this, because I'm like, that is exactly like the shit that would happen. Like, it's like, oh yeah, you won. It's like, oh, what'd you win? I don't know, here's a fucking keychain or something. And then everyone's like, oh Christ. But it was stupid shit like that, and I was like, oh my god. And then like immediately after that, she gets out of bed, because I had made the joke on Instagram. I posted, I'm like, should I watch boobs? Slumber Party Massacre, or boobs, but also fish, because I had piranha too. And like there's the radio bit, and then like I think we were like just a minute into the movie, and it's just like boobs delivered. Like, all right, rad. First gruesome death was at 6 minutes, so that was awesome. And then what was it? Oh, there was another part that I fucking died at, because like they get into the car. And somebody is driving, and it's like this news bulletin. It's like, oh, this dangerous psychopath has escaped, and he's believed to be in the area. And it's like, hey, people, you're gonna fucking die. Like, the movie is trying so hard to tell, and they're like switching it over to music or something. It's like man, the movie's, you got no one to blame but yourself. The movie's trying to tell you that you're all gonna die, but you just keep ignoring it. Like, it was crafted in such a way that was like, it was ridiculous, and it was super self-aware. And I watched one of the, because Amy Jones was the director on this thing, and you don't expect it to be like there was a woman screenwriter and a woman director on this, and I was watching the extras, and she was like, that was kind of a big thing, like it was kind of scoffed at when she was working at it, because it was like, oh, you know, women don't do those kind of movies, kind of thing. They don't do the horror slasher gruesome genre kind of thing, right? And then she was just like, fuck him. And Roger Corman has his name on this. I don't know if that rings any bells. He does. Wow. Yeah. He does a lot of great bad movies. But yeah, it was, I don't know, Slumber Party Massacre. I really liked it. I recommend you checking it out.
I probably will.
It's a good one. And then the second one, I think it gets even more ridiculous. And there's a guy, and the drill is also a guitar. It was like I think that Slumber Party Massacre 2, and I haven't seen it yet, so I can't be sure, but it's like what Evil Dead 2 is to The Evil Dead.
Oh, wow.
So I think it's like partially a remake, but also like delving into that comedy.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, the first one, it's a comedy too. It was written as a comedy, but it's, I don't know, you don't expect it to be like that. You can like cut all this out. I just rambled on a bit for...
No, that's totally fine.
Slumber Party Massacre. But yeah, check it out.
That's why we're here.
So yeah, what were you going to say before I went on that diatribe?
Oh well, actually, now what I was going to say is I feel like they got away with the whole. It wasn't the same lady that directed it. Wasn't the writer, right?
No.
Okay, so I feel like they probably got away with that easier, especially probably because it was going to be a horror comedy movie, and they were just like, oh, who gives a shit? Nobody's going to watch it anyway. Like, go ahead, make your movie.
Right.
Unfortunately, but
Well, and she
sign
she
of the
had
times.
she had the opportunity to either direct this movie or to be a video editor on ET. And she said she took a
Ooh.
chance because she was like, I've been editing for a while. Like, I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to take a chance and be a director. And I guess this movie has formed a pretty big cult following. This is why I love the Scream Factory releases, because they're packed with like all the extras, and you can like you really like dive deep, and you feel like an intellectual when you're watching these movies. And you're like, did you know that this movie
Yeah.
was her?
I
But
wonder in retrospect if she would still say that she would have done this movie, or if she would have been like, shit, I really should have edited E.T.
well, because the when was the interview was like I think it was 90 maybe 2006 or something.
Okay.
And the movie itself was 82. So I mean, she was already looking back on it, being like, yeah,
Damn, yeah, she's 20 years removed.
right. So it was like, right on, right on.
Because I wonder if she would have gotten. Oh man, yeah, she must have just definitely done it either as a passion project or, like you said, she had just done editing for so long and was just like, I got to try something new here.
Mm-hmm. Well, because she did a treatment for it, like the first scene or whatever, and wrote it down, and they shot it like on a $1,000 budget or something, and then they went to and showed it to Roger Corman, and he was like, I need you to make this movie. Like, keep going. Here's more money. And I think that the what?
Oh, I was gonna say, here's another $1,000. Go finish it.
Right. But no, it was great. It was a fun time. I'm glad I watched it.
I'm gonna have to look it up and see if it's streaming anywhere, or I might just have to just break down and buy the Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's a nice set. I'd recommend it.
Are you planning on watching the second one now?
Yeah, not yet though. Like I'll give me some time and I'll get into.
Let the first one marinate a bit.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like I got so many other movies to watch right now.
Yeah, that's true.
With the horror-thon and stuff. Because yeah, I don't know, and I just bought a bunch of movies as well.
I'm trying to think of the latest horror movie I bought. It was probably Hereditary.
Yeah, I bought that one too.
Have you seen that one yet?
Yeah, I watched it in theaters. I haven't seen it since
okay.
in theaters. And actually, there was what is it? Retro video release. There's this company I came across that does new movies on VHS, and I ordered a copy of Hereditary. So I'm excited.
And it's on VHS?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Mm-hmm. I got like Deadpool 2, Cabin in the Woods, the new It on VHS, and it's really really neat how they did it, because it's the cover of the Tim Curry miniseries where he's like kind of creeping around the corner, but it's Bill Skarsgård. It's the new Pennywise.
Oh, Skarsgård.
Skarsgård, yeah, that's the one.
That's kind of cool, and I'm assuming it's got the newer kids on the bottom, probably.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I just looked at it. That's what happens when I drink and shop. I'm just like, I need all of these things.
Was it retro? What?
Retro video release.
Oh, retro.
I ran across them on Instagram. Oh, and I got a Trick or Treat. They had a copy of that. Or Trick or Treat if you're the person who says it like that. I don't know. I thought it would be apostrophe. Trick or Treat.
I always just say Trick or Treat. Which unfortunately I had not seen until 4 years ago, 5 maybe.
That's a good one. I really like it.
It was really good. I love horror anthology movies.
Yeah. See, that's the kind of shit that we could have got if Halloween didn't, go back to the BS of the stuff. The Michael Myers.
But people need their money.
People do, yeah.
Apparently.
All right, yeah. That's fine. But yeah, then we do get awesome things like that. Oh, retro release video. That's the one. I just looked them up here.
Oh, okay.
Where VHS is king. Yeah.
All right. Retro release video. I'm definitely going to see what they have, because I was just, when I was looking at your post that had all the movies listed, I can see all the VHS in the background, and I used to be someone who I had boxes of VHSs everywhere.
Yeah.
And once we got to moving around, there was one year where, damn, we must have moved 3 or 4 times in one year. So eventually we just slowly started trickling down to, okay, which ones can I get rid of? Which ones can I get rid of? And now I'm probably down to maybe a box if I can find it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
as
was
long
just
as those
saying,
are, the really special ones to you, right?
yeah. So I was just like, I got to find my VCR and start watching VHS again because it's been so long.
Mm. There's something magical about it too.
It's got to be the nostalgia factor. At least I'm sure that's a huge part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I still got my TV VCR combo, so I like to, it's just a little guy, right?
Yeah.
So I like to, I don't know, sometimes I'll set it up and just pop one in while I'm doing something. And then I also have, I have 3 VCRs, I think,
Oh
including
damn.
the TV combo. Yeah, and it's all stuff that I've kept over the years. I have a Betamax player too. Like,
Holy crap.
yeah, that was pretty excellent. Well, it was my grandpa had a Betamax, and then he had boxes of just recorded movies from TV.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually, the one night, I guess he recorded the first Friday the 13th and the first Halloween movie. So I
Oh
have
damn.
those on Betamax, and then like in between or after them is like Kenny Rogers the Gambler or something. Because my grandpa was like a country fan, right? So I'm like, I bet he like set it to record, and like all he wanted to record was the Kenny Rogers thing. But hey, I got Friday the 13th and Halloween. So
Oh damn.
yeah.
I I want to say I think my grandpa at one point had a um oh damn, was it laser disc?
Oh,
Um and I just now remembered it, and I was just visiting them, but I'm sure it's long gone by now. I am almost certain he had a um Star Wars Episode 4 on Laserdisc,
that would be so rad.
which I know now would probably be worth some money.
Yeah, Laserdisc. Yeah, very possibly.
I
I don't know.
mean,
Star Wars is tough. If it was
yeah.
like an original thing, right? But like anything that comes after, it's just been repressed to shit. That's like I saw somebody had the trilogy, not like the special edition box set,
Mm-hmm.
like the gold and silver one, but before that there was another trilogy box set, which was I think in the 1995 releases or something, and it has like the half faces. It has like Vader, Stormtrooper, and Yoda
Yeah.
on the separate movies, and there's a box of that, and somebody's trying to sell it on one of the pages on Facebook in town here. They're like $50. I'm like, I have all those fucking movies, and I got them for 99 cents a piece. Like, take your head out of your ass there, man. You don't, but people don't understand the value of things sometimes, which I think is really funny. Like or even like sometimes I'll be like, oh man, like this must be what I'm thrifting, and I find something, I'm like, oh, this must be worth a lot of money. Like, and I take it home and I look it up, and I'm like, well, it's worth like twice as much as I paid for it, which is, that's a win. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But then other things like that. Do you see the Phantasm action figure that I managed to come across?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I paid like $6 for that, and it's going for like $70 on eBay,
Oh shit.
which is pretty neat. That's another series that I haven't watched, Phantasm.
I may have seen the first one, but again, it's probably been so long. Watching it again will be like the first time.
Yeah. Just real quick here, I looked up what the budget was for Slumber Party Massacre because I was
Mm-hmm.
curious. So it had a budget of 250,000, and it made 3.5 million in the box office.
All right. That's not a bad return.
It's not a bad return at all.
So, and like you said, it's still got a huge cult following, so I'm sure it's a slow trickle every year for them. For the past 30, 40 years now, almost.
Yeah. So that's all right.
So they didn't do too bad for themselves. That's the good thing about, well, at least for them, about horror movies, is you can make nowadays a damn good horror movie for $2-3 million, but then it's going to gross 60, 70.
Yeah. Yeah. But then you
Like,
can also pour 60 into one, and then it'll return maybe half that sometimes.
yeah. They got lucky with, well, I think it was to be expected, but I'll say they got lucky with it and how well it did, because I think that was probably a $40-50 million movie.
Mm. Yeah, but that has a lot. I mean, right now everyone's pouring money into Stephen King properties,
Oh yeah.
which is nice. It's a great time to be a Stephen King fan.
Yes.
And I mean, we're not getting a lot of really bad things, besides like the Dark Tower.
I was,
Um,
I was just gonna say,
but hey, at least we'll probably, maybe, hopefully, never get another Langoliers,
yeah,
or something of that level of shit.
yeah.
Um, that yeah, I don't know. A lot of
Like
good stuff out there though.
I haven't seen the all of it anyway, all of the Stand original series, which I
No, you haven't
hear
watched the whole thing.
I haven't seen the whole thing. I think I've seen maybe I know I've seen the first part in full. I may have seen part of the second, and I think from what I understand, the first half was a lot better than the second half, but as a whole, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Right. Yeah, it's an entertaining. There's good parts to it. I mean, for what is it? It's like a 6-hour series or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty long, and it does get a little. I don't know. I think because the book is so big, right? And there's so much stuff in there, and it's like, what can we include? What can we leave out, kind of thing. And but it does have that abrupt kind of ending. It's like, oh, hey, we're done.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I'm gonna rewind it and watch that Crowded House song again because I like that. Okay, check.
You what?
I was just, as I'm still on this page here. The real quick, the description for Slumber Party Massacre 2
Oh God.
is a loosely based sequel to Slumber Party Massacre. The film follows an adult Courtney from the first film as she and her friends in a rock band are attacked by a supernatural killer with power drilled guitar. This is amazing. Oh my God. The killer, it's the killer from the first one, but he's reincarnated as a greaser armed with a guitar fashioned out of a giant power drill. This is amazing.
Oh man.
Okay, I guess I'm not gonna wait to watch the second one. I'm gonna go find this fucking thing. I need to see it. Oh,
I really hope it's written and directed by the same people.
I think it. I hope so. I just shut the tab here, but
Oh shit.
where is it? Good old reopen close tab button.
There you
That's
go.
not the one that I wanted to reopen. Hold on.
Damn it.
No, I can't find. There it is. Slumber Party Massacre 2. Deborah Brock. Different director. Oh, for this one, it's written and directed by the same person, Deborah Brock.
Oh wow.
So
At least it was directed by another woman. I mean,
yeah,
at least they kept that going.
Right. And then there's a third one, and then there's 2 Sorority House Massacre movies.
Huh.
So yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if those are spin-offs, I'm assuming.
I'm guessing.
Who
knows? They're more Roger Corman things. So
Oh, yep. There you go.
that's loosely based. It's how like Carnosaur 1, 2, and 3 are loosely based in the same timeline.
Oh Lord. It's been a long time since I've seen the first one, and I remember it again for what it is. It's very fun to watch, but if you did a step back, you're like, that was kind of a terrible movie.
Oh yeah, but it's a enjoyable terrible movie.
Oh yeah, I've never seen the sequels, but I know I've seen the first one.
The second one's pretty fun. It's almost like Alien. It's it's a beat for beat remake of Alien, but with dinosaurs.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like a poor man's Dino Crisis movie.
Oh shit.
Which we'll probably never get, but I would love to see a Dino Crisis movie.
Oh hell yeah.
Horror, dinosaurs. Why don't we have more movies like this? Well, I guess the new Jurassic World was somewhat of a horror movie.
It was definitely darker than the last one, that's for sure.
I really enjoyed it. I liked it. Everyone's talking shit about it, but I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not perfect.
I think it's 2/3 really good, and then the last third it kind of dips a tiny bit, but it definitely leaves you wanting more and to see what's going to happen in this last one, final one.
Yeah. Well, we'll I don't know. We'll see when the time comes.
I say final for this decade. We'll get another one in a few years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It is true. Hey, have you heard of this In Search of Darkness horror documentary?
It sounds familiar.
It's the definitive 80s horror documentary.
Oh shit, no I haven't.
So I found out who posted it. One of the channels I follow on YouTube posted a trailer for it, and I was like, "Oh, this looks freaking cool." I think it was Good Bad Flicks,
Mm-hmm.
which is a fantastic YouTube channel or series or whatever. And I was like, "Oh, this is really cool." So and they're doing a Kickstarter for it. So I went over and I was like, "Oh, this is like it looks intense." Like the trailer's really well put together. I'm like 80s horror, like I love that shit. I believe in this. I'm gonna because I've never backed a Kickstarter in my life, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like this seems like a good place to start. So I backed enough to get the Blu-ray or whatever, and then and I think it's going until there's 28 days left in the to pledge for this project, and I think 2 days ago they were at half of what they needed, and they have already surpassed their goal. So we are
Oh,
going to be
damn.
seeing this movie. Yeah, I was just like, holy shit! Like, what is it in Canadian dollars? Because hold on, can I move this? Converted from yeah, so they're like $10,000 over what they needed right now,
Oh, damn.
which is pretty freaking cool.
Hopefully
So
they can
yeah,
put that towards something extra, like packaging or even special features or something.
right. Give me a vinyl soundtrack or something.
Oh, there you go.
That'd be rad.
You reminded
Get
me when
it,
you're
get it
talking
on
about that.
Laserdisc.
Yeah. Even though, good luck trying to find a Laserdisc player nowadays.
Right. That's a pain in the ass. Sorry, what were you saying?
You reminded me when you were talking about that. Have you ever seen? It's called Terror in the Aisles.
Terror in the Isles. Yeah, that was included on one of my Halloween DVDs
Yes.
or Blu-rays.
I watched that when I was little, when it was just it itself was available on VHS, which now hindsight, I wish I had that on a VHS because apparently it is a very hard movie to license because of so many movies that were included in
Right.
it, which I'm really surprised that they got all those movies to remaster and all that for the Blu-ray, which I still don't have. I don't think I know I have a Halloween collection, but that wasn't included on
No,
there.
this was on the Halloween 2, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's it's just so fun to watch because it's just so many clips of just all these horror movies.
You're like, oh, I remember that. Oh, I remember that. Oh,
Yeah,
in there.
I always like stuff like that are just, um, like you said, clips from horror movies, or even just oh, there was a TV channel that used to do. I don't know if they did it. I think they only did it a couple years in a row, but it was like a countdown of like the 100 scariest movie moments, and it was like an 8 hour long block because they would show a good 2 or 3 minute clip from each movie,
Yeah.
times that by 100. And it was just cool to see the countdown, what movies they threw on there, what parts they threw on there, and just shit like that is fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm always down for a good horror doc.
Oh hell yeah!
That's like
I'm
the.
I'm
Sorry,
really
go on.
excited for the Pennywise one coming out.
Ooh, do they have a Pennywise one?
Well, I think it's the making of the original miniseries,
Yeah.
so I'm pretty sure that's what it's about.
Ooh. You know what? Recently, I don't know, a little while ago, I guess. I went back and watched the miniseries, but I watched it with the commentary on,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a lot of fun. Getting that insight from the actors, and I think for I don't know, I can't quite remember if it's all the adult actors just doing that. I think it would be fun if they did the I think it was just the adult actors doing the commentary. There was like three of them or something, and then they would just talk about the kids and being like, oh yeah, they were good kids we were trying to play the same character or whatever. And anyway, I don't know where I was going with this. But yeah, that'd be sweet. Also the Never Sleep Again documentary, have you seen that one?
I've been wanting to, but I still haven't.
Oh, it's good. I managed to pick up like a two pack that had that one and Crystal Lake Memories,
Oh wow,
which is narrated by Corey Feldman. So that's
Crystal Lake
hilarious.
Memories.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
because he was young. What was he? Jarvis.
Oh,
Tommy Jarvis.
in
I
the
think.
fourth one, something like that.
Yeah,
Third one.
he was in. No, he was in the. It was the fourth one because it wasn't the
Okay.
first one where he had his mask. It was. I think it was the one after that.
Because the second one, he just has the bag the whole time, right?
Yeah,
Or the knapsack, whatever the hell you want to call it.
the potato sack or whatever.
Potato sack.
And then yeah, he gets the hockey mask, and then it's Tommy Jarvis that like kills him because it's the final Friday or final Friday the 13th, and then it's like, oh, a new beginning, and it's not even Jason, it was Tommy all along. Spoiler alert.
Oh, that's right.
And then it gets into the zombie shit, him getting struck by lightning and coming back.
Oh, that's right. I remember that one.
Then he takes Manhattan, and then what was the? I don't think I've seen the one where they introduce like the psychic girl that's supposed to be like his enemy. I think that was. Is that Jason? No, it's not Jason Lives. I don't think.
I don't think it was Manhattan. Maybe it was just the last one.
I think it was the one before Manhattan. I don't know. But yeah, there was the one where there's this little girl, and she was like, I got psychic powers. I'm gonna go fire starter on you, and then it just didn't catch on. So.
And then he goes to space.
And then yeah, it sure does. Well, before he goes to space, he goes to hell.
Oh, that's right. And,
yeah.
And then afterwards, he battles Freddy.
Wait.
After
did he go to space first?
Yeah, yeah.
Because that was the 10th movie. Because it was Jason X. Haha. Very, very good.
Yeah.
And then it was the final Friday. Because it was like the reason they couldn't call it Friday the 13th was some sort of contractual obligation. Because Alliance got the rights to the character, but not the name of the movie series. And so that's why it was like Jason X and Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. And they couldn't call it Friday the 13th. So,
but they could have his character in there. That was kind of strange.
Yeah, there was some sort of thing. I watched some documentary on it. It was the Crystal Lake Memories one, and they explained it in there. But it's a 4. How many? I think they're both like 6-hour documentaries or something.
I was gonna say I know the Freddy one was like 4.5 hours long. Because I remember putting it on Netflix one day, and I got like 20 minutes in. I had to pause it, and I was like, "Holy shit! There's 3.5 hours left." Yeah, I'm not watching this right now.
Well, they go through every movie, right? And they give you a little in-depth insight into it.
Oh, damn!
Yeah, it's pretty wicked. And then, but of course, it ends. The Friday the 13th documentary ends. It's just like, and then we remade Friday the 13th, and time will tell as to how this one will be received.
I'm surprised it's been so long since the remake of Friday the 13th that they didn't make a sequel or haven't just remade it again.
Right.
And it wasn't terrible. It wasn't good, but it.
It was.
It basically just seemed like another entry.
It was because there are some really bad Friday movies. So I mean, it's not. I think it's just like because it's developed like a pedigree. It's like, oh yeah, Friday the 13th movie has to be these certain things, but that new one, no, it's a remake and it's terrible. It's bad, but it's like no, it hits all the beats that it needs to. You know, it's got a guy in a hockey mask. And it's killing kids that are getting naked and doing bad things. You know, it wasn't as bad. Like the Nightmare on Elm Street didn't get a very good remake.
Yeah, see, it was one of those things. It wasn't bad, but it also wasn't good. God damn it, what's his name? Jackie Earle Haley. I thought he did a really good job at playing Freddy, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just different, right? It's weird seeing someone other than England.
Oh yeah. But at least they didn't try. He didn't try emulating England at all. He was like, "Nope, I'm going to do my own thing," and there was no punchlines or quips. It was just he was not a good person or anything at all.
Yeah. Well, this isn't the MTV generation, so
yeah,
can't keep going with that shtick.
Well, I don't know if I can say original, but the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, I wouldn't call it good, but I wouldn't call it bad either. It was.
No, it wasn't terrible.
It wasn't that bad. The ones that came after that were god awful, at least to me.
Yeah, like I'm a pretty big Friday or fuck. What series are we on now? Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I love the series. I've seen all of them, multiple times. Except for the new Leatherface. I haven't taken time to watch that one yet.
Yeah, me neither.
I heard that one was all right. Yeah, but the beginning, uh, Texas Chainsaw: The Beginnings or whatever, the prequel to the remake,
Yeah.
that was pretty shitty.
Yeah.
And then you know what, Texas Chainsaw 3D or just Texas Chainsaw or whatever, with Alexandra Daddario,
Oh yeah, yeah,
like it was bad, but it was enjoyably bad.
yeah.
Like I don't know, it just got it knew that it was dumb, I think,
Exactly.
and it was just like, yeah, hey cuz, and throws him the fucking chainsaw, and then he just like, oh god. At least it wasn't as bad as Texas Chainsaw Generations,
Is
which,
the one with Matthew McConaughey?
yeah, and Renee Zellweger.
It's been so long since I've seen that one too.
Oh yeah, it's bad, but it's, and then you get Leatherface in like full drag at the end, so like he's finally come full circle from wearing, a lady's face at the end of the first one to now he's got tits. Where did those come from? I don't know.
I didn't
Sure.
realize it got that bad at the end.
Oh yeah, he's like got a dress on. He's got like a pretty full breast, and like long hair, and he's got lipstick on, and all the, yeah, it's just like, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? The Illuminati show up at the end, and they're like, we were trying to give you a scare experience and all this stuff, and I'm like, what are you talking to me? Are you talking like me watching the movie? Are you apologizing for this weird fucking movie? It was good though. I liked it. I thought it was fun.
It sounds like a inverse of damn it, Sleepaway Camp ending. Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah, with that big reveal.
Yeah.
What is regarded as one of the best twists in slasher cinema.
And it's definitely warranted because did you see that coming?
No, sure didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, like hindsight, you could probably pick up on it as you go through the
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, right on.
But I think it's also you were enjoying the ride of that movie. Then at the very end, you were just like, "Holy shit! What the hell just happened?"
Yeah,
Because I think it just ends immediately after that shot, doesn't it?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple other like terrible sequels. Have you ever seen The Initiation?
I don't think so.
So it has, what's her name? She plays Princess Vesper in Spaceballs.
Oh, damn it.
But you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's this sorority house, and they have this, like, her dad owns a shopping mall, and so they're like, oh, we're gonna break in to the shopping mall and go around, and it's like, oh, like, cool, right on. This is your initiation to be in the fraternity house or whatever, and so they all go in there, and then you find out that, oh, somebody's been, there's like a murder on the loose again. It's classic slasher, whatever. So the kids are getting killed off in this shopping mall, and you find out that the killer is actually like her real dad or something. I think I've seen it once, so I might be getting some of these wrong, but so you find that out, and it's like, oh my god, and then he gets killed, because you're like, oh no, there's actually another, like, killer. And then like this girl steps around him and is like, haha, it was me all along, your identical twin sister that up until this point we haven't said a goddamn thing about. And then there's a mild scuffle, and she gets stabbed, and then the movie's over.
Oh god.
So it's like, like it's great. It's a great movie, but like out of nowhere, you're just like, like you could tell they were just kind of making this on the fly.
Yeah.
And then like, okay, how do we end the movie? And it's like, I don't fucking know. Like, grab the hat. Where's the idea hat? Identical twin is killer. All right, there you go.
We need our big twist ending, and we can't think of one.
Right? They were like making it, and Sleepaway Camp came out, and they're like, oh fuck, like we need something to match this, right?
We should have made it be her twin brother she didn't know she had.
It's like, she jumps up, I'm your identical twin brother. or twin sister, but I'm actually your identical twin. I don't know. I'm fucked. We're done.
Or they could have just went full backwoods and been like, it was your twin sister, but also your mother and aunt.
Oh my God, what is going on? It was you all along. Oh my God. Yeah, that's shit.
The Initiation.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. The Initiation, 1984. Oh, yeah.
Damn these 80s horror movies.
Right, I fucking love them. Vera Miles, I think is that her name, or is it? Yeah, Vera Miles. There we go.
It's funny because that was something I had written down was, what do you think is your favorite era of horror movies? And it sounds like it's probably the 80s.
Oh yeah, dude, like hands down, it's the 80s. Like there's some great 70s horror, but I think that it really hit its stride in the 80s for sure. And then the 90s is a strange time for horror because it's like you get a lot more bad movies, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but it doesn't have the same charm as the 80s one does. Because you watch a bad 80s movie and you're like, okay, like that's fine. It's an 80s movie. It's really cheesy and weird. But you get to the 90s and it's just like they're almost trying a little too hard,
Yeah.
or they're getting a little too self-aware or something. Like I don't know. It's like this dilution of horror for every decade until somebody finally snapped out of it. And then like now we've been getting some good stuff. Like Blumhouse is putting out some great horror movies.
Oh hell yeah.
Some some are just all right, but it's like it's that shotgun blast approach, I guess. Like let's throw everything out there, and I'm sure a couple things will stick. Like I was pleasantly surprised for Happy Death Day.
Yes.
I checked that one out, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be really dumb. But it was like the most feel good horror movie I've ever seen in my life. I'm just like, yeah. I came out of that movie like, yeah, I should go live my life. Like,
yeah,
that's fantastic.
They definitely had a fun idea and we're like, okay, let's just run with this, and that's what they did.
It's like, what do you got for me? Okay, I got Groundhog Day, but with a girl and she keeps dying. I love it. All right, here's however much money you need. Fuck it, we're Blumhouse. We got money.
Especially after Get Out.
Yeah, that's one that I still need to. I have it, but I have not watched it.
Oh man!
But I know the whole plot because people have told me and stuff. So I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds like a great movie. And I'm like, maybe I'll watch it, but maybe I'll watch this other like shittier horror movie from the '80s that I haven't seen.
I hate calling it a horror movie because I wouldn't even.
Well, it's like a thriller, I guess, right?
Yeah, but because it's definitely its own thing. Because people have told me like, oh, I don't want to watch it because I don't like scary movies, and I'm like, well, it's not a scary movie. Yes, it has like some scary themes, but it's just like so hard to describe. But then people who I've told that are like, okay, I'll give it a try, and they come back and they're just like, holy shit, that was a good movie. And I'm like, duh.
Like that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Nobody listens to me. I've only seen 50,000 movies, but it's fine. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Right? Yeah, no, I don't know what a good movie is. I don't know.
Have you? Like, oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like I work with a lot of people who think they have like they're like a good opinion on what a good movie is. And I'll be like, or I'll recommend something. They're like, yeah, I checked out that movie and it was terrible, but I watched this other movie, which is actually terrible, and I really liked that one. I'm like, oh yeah, right, you have a terrible taste. Like, I think I've said that to my boss at work too, and he was like, fuck you. Like, he's like, oh yeah, I went and saw Hereditary. It was garbage. I'm like, what? Like, I thought The Witch was better, but like I still liked it. He's like, oh, The Witch, yeah, that was so boring. I fell asleep. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah.
What are you talking about? Sorry, what are you gonna say?
Well, now you got me thinking. It's like it's the type of person who'd be like, "Oh, I absolutely hated Stand By Me, but I like other Stephen King movies like The Night Flyer." Like, whoa, what?
The Night Flyer. I have. Moving on. Okay, pass. Pass.
Oh, well, speaking of the 80s, this isn't necessarily a horror movie, but it's okay. Well, anyway, have you seen Student Bodies?
Student bodies. It sounds familiar.
It's like the original Wayans Brothers scary movie before Scary Movie.
I don't think I have.
I had never seen it or heard of it before until I started dating my girlfriend, and she wound up telling me about it, and we went to a used music store, and I found it on DVD, and we watched it, and I was just like, holy shit, this is Scary Movie, and it's probably funnier than Scary Movie, which some people hate it, but I think the first two are pretty damn funny, but it was just 80s horror movies being made fun of, which a lot of 80s horror movies are already there for the picking anyway, so
Yeah.
to have it done so well was just hilarious.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check this one out.
The killer in it is called the Breather.
The Breather.
Because all he does is when he calls people to kind of scream, all you hear is him just. One of my favorite scenes in that whole movie is it's a straightforward scene. It's the principal talking to, I don't know if it's the main character or not. It's been a while, but they're just talking, and like his phone rings, and he's like, "Oh, excuse me." And he answers it, and he just hears, and he's like, "What the hell?" and hangs up. And he's like, "Okay." So they just keep talking, and mid sentence he just stops and just like looks down at his phone for a second, picks it up and listens, and you just hear, and he hangs it up again.
That sounds great. I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to find. Although I think they did re-release it on Blu-ray, but it's like $30, which is insane for an 80s movie on Blu-ray.
Well, that's like all these Scream Factory ones. Like they're all pretty pricey, which kind of sucks. Like it's got all the good. Like I paid I think it was like $23 for Slumber Party Massacre, which was worth every penny. Might I add.
I was gonna say, it seems like you got your money's worth out of it.
Student Bodies. Oh yeah, they got fucking $40 for the DVD.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I don't think it's sold by it's sold by Amazon. Who's putting this out? Why is it so expensive? What is this? Olive Films? Who the fuck's Olive Films? I might understand it if it's an Arrow video release, but like that the case just looks like a Blu-ray case. Like that's nothing. DVD's $20. Still a little bit too much for me. I'm gonna, you know what? Nah, fuck it. I'll find the VHS somewhere for like $2.
I looked it up, and it comes in a double pack with. Wow, I've never heard of this movie. Jekyll and Hyde Together Again.
Yeah, I saw that one too, but on Canadian Amazon it's $50 for the double pack.
Holy shit, it's $13 for America. I might have to.
God damn it!
See the Blu-ray is only third party. Well, the standalone Blu-ray is only third party, so I may just have to get that one for you and just ship it to you, because it'd be a lot damn cheaper. That is for sure.
Yeah. Well, after you ship it out, it might not be. Shipping anything in or outside of Canada or to Canada is ridiculous.
Which is, especially coming from America, that's kind of ridiculous. It's like we're connected. Like, come on, how hard is it? You don't have to ship it overseas.
All right. But yeah, for some reason, even if I'm sending something like, I don't know, to a town 5 hours away, it's like, oh yeah, $20. Give me what are you trying to say? I'm like whatever I'm sending isn't even worth that much. Like sending a letter, like piss off.
Trying to send someone a goddamn bookmark, like come on. What state is like below you?
Montana. I think Montana or Colorado. I think.
Oh, you're not. Yeah, you're only an hour time zone ahead of me, so that's not too far away.
Yeah, like I went to school in Lethbridge, which it's like on one of the southernest most parts of Alberta, and like you can see the Rocky Mountains in the distance. So
Oh,
that's
that's
kind of
cool.
yeah. Yeah, I
I,
mean, and then like the American Rocky Mountains, not the ones that are on Canadian territory. So that was kind
yeah.
of neat. And it's just like, yeah, Colorado's just over there in the distance. Let's go check it out. And then we never did.
Oh,
Right?
well, now you need a damn passport to go. I don't know about. I'm sure it works both ways, but before, you didn't need a passport to get to Canada, but now you do. I don't know if it's the same for you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. You gotta do. Yeah, you really gotta have everything, uh, everything all in order there. Which
I
is,
used,
whatever. I don't know. What is
yeah.
it? Montana. I'm looking at a map right now. Am I wrong? Where the fuck is Colorado? Why is Colorado not on here? Is that Colorado's beside Montana, right?
I believe so.
I thought like in between Washington and Montana, there should be a state called Colorado. Where is it? No. What the fuck? What am I thinking? Colorado. Is Colorado a state?
It
No.
is.
Oh, there it is. Wait, Colorado's there? My God, I do not know my United States geography. It's like 3 states down from
Oh,
from Alberta.
oh, apparently, I don't know mine either.
Okay, the Montana Rocky Mountains then. Jesus. Yeah. Well, learn something new every day, I guess.
You're in. Uh, oh, you're in
I'm in
Calgary,
Alberta.
Alberta.
Yeah, I'm in Grand Prairie, Alberta. So it's like
Okay.
eight
Well,
hours north of Calgary.
yeah, you're like if you went straight down, you're right at the edge of Washington. You're like at the tip of Washington, Idaho, and Montana.
Yeah.
All right.
Fuck.
When I used to live in northwestern Washington for a couple years, and there was a town about maybe 30, maybe a 30-minute drive away from us, and there would be a ferry there, and it would take you to Victoria,
Oh yeah.
and I think I've been there twice, so that's the only place I've been to in Canada, which from what I remember of Victoria, it was really nice, but I feel like where we were was probably just a very touristy part of the city.
Yeah. Yeah, and Victoria's not a really good I guess example of Canada in whole, because it's like the southern westernmost point of Canada, and it's basically in Washington.
Yeah, like I said, it was like a 30-minute drive, 20-minute ferry ride.
Yeah, yeah, and it's really touristy there, and I don't know, it's nice. BC's really nice. I haven't been there for years, but yeah, I don't know. Alberta, I like it too. We got a good layout here in Alberta. A lot of mountains, a lot of forests. Got some plains.
So you're getting a lot of damn snow.
Yeah, this morning I woke up and looked outside and it was snowing. So
We live deep in the valley, so it's still, we're at the end of, we're at the almost in the middle of October, and it's still hot. Like everyone's still walking around in shorts and tank tops because it's so damn hot in here and smoggy, and just we finally got rain. It rained very hard for about 15, 20 minutes the other day, and that's the most rain we've seen in 6, 7 months.
oh jeez.
Oh yeah, we're constantly in a drought here in the valley.
Because you're in. Is Washington just home, or are you in Washington right now?
No. I'm home in California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was up there last week for 8 days.
Yes.
Didn't get above 80 degrees, which is beautiful considering here it's been mid 90s, which I don't think you guys go by Fahrenheit up there, do you?
No, 90s would be. I don't even know. I got to look at my conversion app here because. Yeah, I don't know. It was I spent some time in Florida for a bit, and that was something. It was really warm.
It'd be 32 degrees for you guys.
Hey, 32. That's like a hot Canadian summer day.
On midsummer, our worst days for you guys, according to this, would be 40.5 degrees.
Ooh. Yeah, that would be very warm. That's like heat stroke kind of level.
Yeah, at least it's dry heat here. I couldn't do the sticky southern heat.
Oh man, Florida was insane. We kept our hotel room at like 20 degrees Celsius, so I don't know what what that would be.
That sounds like it'd be
close in
close.
my conversion app. So that's like we kept it at a crisp 68 degrees. And then and we oh man, it was just like coming home when we'd be walking through the hotel and we're just like, oh god, and we're like shorts and tank tops and just like open the door and it's like this cool breeze would just hit you and you're like, I'm home. I went to a Dunkin' Donuts and bought a coffee and I could not drink the coffee the whole time I had it, and I had to throw it out because it just didn't get cold. It was just hot all the time, and I'm like, this is what is this? Canada, you're lucky if your coffee stays warm that long. But warm that long, not piping hot like it was. Jeez.
I remember reading a book not too long ago, and the main characters, it's all set in Boston, but they have to go to southern Florida for something, and just a perfect description of them saying, like, as soon as they got off the plane, it said, something like the wet fur of humidity settled on them, and it's like, oh, that sounds so perfect.
Right. That's what it feels like. It's like, I can feel the heat. Like, in every crevasse. Emphasis on the ass.
Yeah.
Oh, so sweaty. And then we went down to Mexico because we went to Cozumel. We went on a boat on a big motorhead cruise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that was great. It was warm. It was so warm. Oh my god.
Just as sticky down there, or is it still dry heat? I would think it.
When we were on the ocean, it wasn't as dry, but it was that, I don't know, kind of like saltiness in the air.
Yeah.
But then we were also drunk the whole time we were on the boat. Because it's like every time you turn around, there'd be like this little guy that was working there and be like, "Hey, boys, beers?" Yeah, sure.
We're not driving the boat.
We'd finish a beer and then we'd be like, immediately they'd be like beside you, like, more beers?
Oh my god.
Oh Jesus. I won, like, me and my buddy won bottles of champagne at the casino. So we're just walking around the boat, like, slugging back this champagne, and oh my goodness, it was an experience.
I would start getting scared. Like, I think they're trying to get us blacked out so they can steal our damn kidneys.
No, it was good. I won a PlayStation 4 on that cruise.
Oh, shit.
On one of those stupid games, like the arcade things where you'd stack the blocks.
Oh, wow.
On my first credit. So somebody loaded it up and it was just about to pay off, and then they walked away. And then I walked up to it and then I won a PlayStation 4.
Son of a bitch.
It was great. And then yeah, I was like, I'm going to run around and get all these rock stars to sign my PlayStation 4 box. And so, like, we come out of the casino and I have the box, and Rex Brown is standing. He was the bassist for Pantera, and he was with his band Kill Devil Hill there. And I was just like, I ran up to him like, "Excuse me, Rex," and he was like, "Oh, thank you," and he like snatches it out of my hands. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And it was like, "Can you sign it?" He's like, "Yeah, all right, man." And he like signs it and like gives it back to me, and he like just stumbles off because we were all like, even the rock stars, we were all fucking drunk, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
And then Chuck Billy was there with Testament. And this guy's like, he's like 7.5 feet tall. So like, and I'm a pretty tall guy. I'm like 5'11". But when I was asking him if he would sign it, my neck's craned back and I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, I like reach up to tap him on the shoulder. I'm like, "Excuse me, Mr. Billy, can you sign this?" And he's just like, kind of gives me this weird look. And he's just like, "Yeah, all right." And then I was like, this is too much work. Like, I got 2 signatures on this. Fuck it. I'm going to go throw this in my... I'm going to throw it in the room, and then I'm just going to get drunk.
I can totally see him just being like, "Here you go, kid. Go away now."
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, here you go." And it was like, as I was walking up to him, he was surrounded by deck chairs, and he's like standing there with his wife. And they were positioned in a way, I don't know how they got there, or if they were like pulling them in the way after they were walking by. But I'm like trying to step over them and like tripping over and like kicking them over. And you could tell he's like, he knows that I'm walking up to him because he keeps like doing like this little glance over his shoulder. And then that's why I was just like super humbly, like I on my tippy toes, like tapping him on the shoulder. "Excuse me."
Oh man,
it's a good time though. It was a good time.
That was on a cruise ship?
Yeah, it was the Motorhead motorboat.
Oh god.
Yeah, so it went from Miami. We were supposed to stop in Key West, but it was a bit stormy, so we couldn't go there. And then we went to Cozumel, and then we went back to Miami. And while we were on the boat, There was Motorhead, there was Anthrax, Danko Jones, Down was there, Kill Devil Hill, and just like a handful of other guys. And they only did two Motorhead motorboats because then Lemmy passed away.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I was glad to be on the first one there, and got my memories.
Yeah, definitely.
That was great.
I've never been on a cruise, but I feel like I want to, but it can only be for like at most 3 days.
Yeah, this was like a week.
Oh, of nonstop out on the ocean?
Nonstop. Well, besides like the one day that we were in port, but was it? No, it was like 5 days. No, 3 or 4, maybe 4 days. I don't know. It felt a lot longer. I think
I
that could
would
have been
think so.
booze. I don't know. Maybe.
I was gonna say then it shouldn't have felt very long at all. It should be like, well, that is
It's over.
It's next Sunday already. Shit.
Yeah, it was a good experience though. I liked it.
Try-
Don't know if I would go on one again.
Yeah, I was gonna say trying to circle back now. It almost be kind of cool to do some kind of horror cruise.
Yeah, have like a convention almost, but on a boat.
Yeah, and just
But
have they're big enough to have theaters in there and just show horror movies all day.
Yeah, that would be rad.
I think we're starting something here.
Yeah, let's call. I'll get my people to call the boat people, the cruise people, and we'll see if we can set up a big old cruise.
Just have it painted all bloody and all that,
Oh, that'd be rad.
and show the movie Ghost Ship.
Ooh, maybe.
Not a good movie, but it'll set the tone.
Not a good movie.
Although I will say it has a damn good opening, that is for sure.
Yeah, with the wire thing.
Oh man,
Yeah, that was pretty memorable.
I think after that it was definitely downhill. You
After that, it definitely sunk.
yeah, there you are.
That was terrible.
They dropped anchor after the first 3 minutes.
Touche.
Yeah.
Real piece of ship.
Oh God.
All right, I'm good now. I'm good now. I've got it. All that.
I was gonna say you got it all off your chest. You unloaded the deck.
I did.
I love puns.
Yeah, me too.
Well, damn, I was gonna say what one of my notes I had on here was favorite franchise. So would you say would you say Nightmare on Elm Street? Or are you sticking to Friday the 13th?
That's tough. That's a really tough question. Because there's a lot of franchises that I really like. I won't say it's Friday the 13th. I don't know. Elm Street's definitely up there. I do like the Hellraiser franchise, though I haven't seen all the direct-to-video bullshit.
Yeah, we came across them the other day, and there's like 12 of them. 11.
Yeah, there's a ridiculous amount of Hellraiser movies. But I think that only the first 4 are really worth it, and even the 4th one is pretty bad. But it kind of wraps up the whole storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first one and the second one are clearly sequels, and the third one is kind of a sequel, I guess. Like because there's the thing at the end of the second one. So yeah, it all links together, and then the fourth one is like, oh, here's reference to the movie that came before this one, and then it was like, here's a solid ending, and you can be happy if you never see another Hellraiser movie again. Mm. And then they just kept making them. And maybe can I say that John Carpenter's Apocalyptic trilogy is my favorite film franchise?
Definitely,
because I know they're not related or anything, but those are some great movies. And The Thing is like my favorite movie of all time.
I bought the Blu-ray like a year ago because I had been wanting to watch it for so long, because it had been so long since I've seen it, and I still have not rewatched it. And I've been meaning to. It's just I haven't done it.
Yeah, I watched that movie like, I don't know, 5-6 times a year probably. I think it's great. And then I'm excited to watch In the Mouth of Madness for the Horror-thon.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that one too.
Very Lovecraftian.
Did you like the remake of The Thing?
It was all right, I guess, for what it was.
I don't even remember it.
I would have liked to see, because they had all the practical effects done for the prequel movie,
Hmm.
and then at the last second, it was like a studio decision that they were like, "No, we're just gonna go CG
Oh,
for everything. We're gonna take all this work that you guys have done," because they had most of the scenes filmed already with all the practical effects, and then they just decided to shit on everything. So
you gotta love studios.
it was, I don't know. I just didn't care. Like the original had memorable characters and you really got invested in the storyline. But the second one, I feel like or the prequel, I guess they tried to make that magic happen again. But I didn't care. I didn't care about
Yeah.
any of the characters. I'm just like, oh, right on. Hey, it's that girl from Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Good. Like, she's cute. And that's about all the investment I had in those characters.
I did like that they decided to, because I mean, how do you, if you chose another male in that role, they're just gonna constantly get compared to Kurt Russell, because
Yeah.
anything that gets remade where Kurt Russell was the original character, it's gonna be like, nope, not Kurt Russell, not watching it.
That's not Kurt Russell. This is a terrible movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like if they ever redid uh, any of the Escape to New York, Escape from L.A. movies, who? Like seriously, you can't go. I feel like you couldn't go with anyone.
Well, what is it? They're talking about they're doing a sequel to Big Trouble in Little China, and it's going to star The Rock as Jack Burton.
Yeah, and who the hell's the other person? I thought it was gonna be with somebody else too. It's not gonna be like another Rock and Kevin Hart movie.
No, oh, God, I hope not.
I mean, I like them both, and have, oh no, they've done 2 movies together now. I was like, they've only done the one, but they did that.
They were Jumanji, right?
Yeah, Central Intelligence too, which, eh,
I don't think I've seen that one.
it had some laughs, but it was pretty generic. Jumanji was really good though.
Jumanji that was surprising. I was after so long. I like the route that they went with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to see how they do with the sequel to that one.
Yeah, are they making a sequel to Jumanji?
Yeah, they may have already started, maybe not.
What are they gonna do now? Oh, stop it! Like, if you finish off a storyline, don't force anything else. Just be like, all right, we did it. Let's move on to the next thing. Let's not just milk. Oh, but I guess it's all about the money. So
Yeah, I feel like if anything, they could just try to do like it's gonna seem like a setup from the first one, but then it's gonna have a mix of the original, and they're gonna have the characters from the game come into real life, and the shit from the game is gonna come into real life. Kind of meshing the two. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So kind of mirroring the original movie.
Yeah,
Without
like that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, maybe it'll be good. Maybe it won't. Who knows?
Or it'll just be okay.
Yeah, maybe it'll be okay. I don't know. I'll wait until I watch it freely again, like, because I didn't see the new Jumanji until it was like, I don't know, somebody had recorded it and they were just like, yeah, let's watch here. Don't have to pay for it. You don't have to go to the movie.
Yeah.
What was the last thing I saw? Can't remember.
In
The
theaters?
Predator. Yeah.
Yeah.
Predator.
That was the last thing I saw too. I'm anxious to go see Venom, but
I heard it was pretty good.
see, because well, again, I don't always listen to critics, but I know critics are tearing it apart. But fans, for the most part, are like, hey, it's not bad. It's not the greatest thing ever, but it's not bad.
It could have been a lot worse.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the consensus I've been hearing.
They can just say like, hey, it's not Spider-Man 3.
It's like, perfect. $1 zillion to it not being Spider-Man 3.
Oh, good God, oh.
That's what I said to my friend. I'm like, so level with me, man. Is Tom Hardy better than Topher Grace as Venom?
Oh, Jesus. I think Nathan Lane would have been better than Topher Grace.
Oh, but hey, Topher Grace, maybe he would have been a good Carnage. Because Predators, he plays a good psychopath.
Yeah, that was a pleasant surprise from him, and the movie in general was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I liked how it kind of shook up the the formula and gave us something completely different, and then just kind of left it alone. I
Yeah.
mean, I would have loved to see where it went after that, but I really like how it's just its own kind of encapsulated thing where it's like, here's an idea, here's something that kind of works out and it's interesting and it gives you enough that you still want more, and then we're done. Wash our hands. You'll never see this planet again. Or will we? Who knows? I can't confirm that.
It's kind of like what they did with the Evil Dead remake. They were supposed to make another one that had Ash coming in, but then
Yeah.
instead they just made the show.
Is that what happened? Because
I believe so. And you know what? Now that I think about it, when you watch the first season of the show, you can tell that it seems like they had originally conceived this as a movie, but they're like, well, let's just take this 2-hour movie and stretch it to a 4-hour first season. Which I still haven't finished the final season, which we all didn't know was the final season until the last like 3 episodes.
right.
But
I still haven't finished the first season, but
it's one of those shows that has very great episodes, like the first 2 episodes of that were just amazing and had such an Evil Dead feel to them. And there's other ones where it's like, okay, this one it seems like you tried.
yeah.
You know.
So I get that filler. Get it in there.
But I think they did a smart thing making it only 30-minute episodes, because
40 minutes would have been a little too much, kind of thing.
Yeah, you get 8 minutes of dialogue, but then you get 22 minutes of just off the wall bloody shit.
Right. Or Ash sitting there laughing with all these inanimate objects.
Yeah. I love. Well, I was gonna say I love the second Evil Dead. It's just pure genius.
It's a masterpiece. I actually watched Army of Darkness again this week, and I got the Steelbook collection came out that has all 3 versions of the movie.
Oh,
all 3 cuts or whatever. I think there's actually 4 cuts now, because it does have like the broadcast version too. So, but I think that's it's like, here's one of the cuts, but we've just put it in like a 4:3 aspect ratio.
Oh,
yeah. But that was a great movie. It was different, you know. I think that's one of the movies that I didn't like it really at first, but it's grown on me every time I watch it, and I'm just like, this is a great movie. It's like how Big Trouble in Little China grew on me, because I fucking hated that movie so much the first time I saw it. My buddy showed it to me. He's like, "This is a great movie. Like one of my favorites from when I was a kid." And that should have been already. I should have been like, "Man, you're gonna dump your nostalgia on me and see if it has the same effect." I don't think so. And I was like, "This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen." And then I'd be like standing there like, oh. Well, what does Jack Burton always say? Checks in the mail.
Yeah.
that was a great line. He's like, what else did he say? He had a lot of great lines in that movie. And it was just like, Isaac, we need to watch Big Trouble again. I've changed my mind. And now I fucking love it. It's one of my favorite movies. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like the Evil Dead remake? Reimagining?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was great. That was I actually went and saw that with my brother and a couple of my friends, and I kind of got him into some horror movies because he was never really a big fan. But then he started watching a couple, and he was like, "Man, yeah, I really like horror movies now." And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go check out the new Evil Dead." And I actually had to like look away at the eyeball part.
Mm.
There is, because I was just like, oh god, like that. Ugh.
With the syringe?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was real gross. Yeah, it freaked me out. But I thought it was good. Like, it was another. I think it was kind of self-aware too. Like, a lot of people hated it because it was just like, this isn't my Evil Dead, right?
Yeah.
But it definitely had some great gore. There was a lot of good lore that they threw out at you.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was. I thought it was enjoyable. You know.
Yeah, it is. Brutal as it is, I think that's what helped it, was because the first one was so the first 2 were so zany and off the wall, whereas this one, they're like, no, we're going full horror with this.
Well, it was like a spiritual successor to the original, because the original was more of of the horror. It wasn't really that funny. Like, it was funny
Yeah.
because it was low budget, kind of,
Yeah.
I guess. And then, yeah, like Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness was just like full on campiness. And then it was nice to see that return to that kind of realm, that realm of horror that was super over the top.
Yeah.
And who didn't sing "Raining Blood" at the end? Who didn't get Slayer stuck in your head? I mean,
Uh, did you see well, it was the same uh, writer director and then the same actress. They did Don't Breathe.
Don't Breathe. No, I've heard of it. I haven't seen that one though.
Yeah, that was another one. I think had it been other people, I may not have been as excited about it. But I was like, oh, this is the same writer and director that did the Evil Dead remake. Like, I'm pretty curious to see what he does, and it was really good. It's a very fun movie because it's so cat and mousy, and those are always fun.
Yeah. Oh, check that one out. I'm gonna write that down. Don't Breathe. I think I've seen it in the store and stuff, and I've just been like, that looks kind of neat, and then I forget about it and move on to something else.
Yep. Evil Dead 2 reminded me of. I'm gonna assume you have, but have you ever seen Idle Hands?
Bits and pieces, not the whole way through though.
Oh, I love that movie. It's another one of those ones that you take a step back and you're like, this is a pretty bad movie, but you have so much fun with it all the way through, and it's basically just I want to say it's almost like a fan fiction of Evil Dead 2. It's, just the possessed hand
Yeah, yeah.
that had to have been their main inspiration. I kept waiting for a Bruce Campbell cameo. Like, just even because they almost could have interjected it as because there's one part where they go to the school dance, but it's a Halloween dance, and you almost could have had
Like an Ash walking in or something.
Either that, or somebody could have dressed up as, say, like John Travolta from Saturday Night Live, and he's just walking. All of a sudden, someone just walks by and goes, "Hey, groovy," and it's Bruce Campbell.
That would be sick. Oh,
The Offspring has a cameo in it.
oh, do they?
Yeah,
Wait, were they like the band at the dance or something?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
they did a pretty good cover of "I Want to Be Sedated" from the Ramones.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is it the Ramones? Yeah, the Ramones.
Yeah, it's Ramones.
Unfortunately, it was never released. Like, you can only find it in that movie.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh,
What the hell?
Yeah. They have other things. They have better songs, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to not like the Offspring, to me anyway.
Yeah, I definitely like the Offspring. Yeah. Yeah, I hear a lot of it at the bar sometimes because it's like, the people that come out there are of a certain age that play the same 5 Offspring songs over and over.
Oh, God.
And it's just like, okay, can't we play something else? Like, if I have to hear Pretty Fly for a White Guy one more goddamn time.
Yeah. I like it, and I like the Offspring, but anytime that comes on, I'm like, nah, skip.
It's like, there's better ones.
Exactly.
Why can't we play one of the better ones?
That's why I hate working especially like working at a damn supermarket where all we play is the most popular songs that are on the radio, which is nothing but Taylor Swift and Justin Bieber and shit like that, and I have to listen to that for 8 hours a day.
God.
And even the 5 good songs they do play that I like, if I hear them come on any other time, I'm like, dear God, enough of this already.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt the same way when I used to work at a grocery store. There was like those 3 songs that would get you through when they would come on. But then, like, in any other context, you're like, no, these are garbage songs. But they're less garbage than everything else. I'm lucky to work at a bar where we play rock and roll all the time. It's fancy.
Like, I'm a big Kendrick Lamar fan, and he did a remix of a song with Taylor Swift for whatever reason. But so they played the original Taylor Swift song at the store, and I'm just like, dear God, couldn't you have at least given us the remix with Kendrick Lamar?
Yeah.
I remember there was I live in a predominantly Mexican town. It's like damn near all there is here, but we went to a bar one time, and there was a group of like 6 or 8 people, and they were all just playing just straight up Spanish music, like damn near mariachi music, which I don't have a problem with, but that's not what I want to listen to when I go to a bar and hang out and drink. And so
Yeah.
after their money ran out on the jukebox, I went over there. I went over and played like 6 System of a Down songs in a row, and they all left.
I've definitely had to do that sometimes. It's always a when one of the servers walks up to you and it's like, "Hey, can you turn on the jukebox? My table wants to put on some music." I'm like, "Oh God, no! Why? Why now? Why? What are they gonna play? Is it gonna be shit? Tell them if they play shit, I'm turning it off." Like, and then one time there was like this group of younger kids and they were playing all this dance music and stuff, and like read the fucking room, man. Like, look around. Nobody's enjoying this, right? And it's just like, so I went over and I was bartending that night, and I put like $10 in, and it's just like, Bruce Springsteen's greatest hits, play all, take that, fuckers. And I just like went back, and then like people kept putting money in the jukebox, and I'm like, why isn't the song changing? And it's like, because it loaded it up. Go home. Like,
I have it for the next 6 hours, you sons of bitches.
like, that's right. I mean, everyone's just like, all the older guys are like, Cam, it's a little much on the Springsteen. I was like, shut up, Al. Like,
It's either this or Taylor Swift. God damn it.
yeah, right.
Yeah, I totally would have been, they would ask me like you said, hey, can you turn the jukebox on? I'm like, God damn it, why? What do you want? I just wanted some CCR. You know what, this beer's on me, man.
It's like, okay, all right. Well, yeah, I'll tell some young kids to come in there. Or like I'll put on some songs. I put on this Kenny Loggins and fucking what's his name? Lead singer of Journey, Steve Perry.
Yeah.
Do a song called Don't Fight It. And it's just like, it's a total 80s jam. Like, this song is like, so I put it on the one night, and these kids that were playing pool come up to me afterwards, and they're like, man, what was that song? And then so I tell them and stuff, and they're like, that was a jam, man. Like, so a couple weeks later, they come back in, and they're like, man, that's my alarm in the morning. I'll wake up and don't fight it, don't fight it, and it's just like there's like the kicks in there and stuff. It's like, oh man, listen to it. It's freaking amazing. It's a great song.
The fun thing I like doing is if you're at a bar for an extended period of time and you see the same group of people starting to teeter on straight up hammered, is go and put on Bohemian Rhapsody and just watch all their heads perk up.
Oh yeah, that or Don't Stop Believing.
Oh God, yeah.
People love Don't Stop Believing.
I mean, if I'm drunk enough, I will belt out Bohemian Rhapsody the best I can. But who in their right mind is going to sound good, comparatively?
Jumping back to the horror thing for a second here, we should give a little tribute to Scott Wilson.
Oh, I know, man.
And yeah,
it's funny because the movie I always remember him from is, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's a comedy movie called Pure Luck. No,
I haven't heard of that one.
It's got Danny Glover and Martin Short.
Okay.
Danny Glover is a detective who's hired to find Scott Wilson's daughter, and they hire Martin Short, who works for his company, but he's very accident prone, just as Scott Wilson's daughter is accident prone. He's like, oh, these 2 accident prone people will eventually find each other. And so it's just that for the next 90 minutes is just bad shit happening to Martin Short along the way trying to find his daughter.
Oh, jeez. See, I always remember him from the Ninth Configuration.
See, I've never seen it.
Oh, it's a fantastic movie, and the book is great too, because it's William Peter Blatty, and he wrote it after he wrote The Exorcist, and in the movie, Scott Wilson actually plays Billy Cutshaw, who's the astronaut that Reagan says you're gonna die up there too.
Oh, okay.
And so he gets, like, right before he's about to get on the ship, he kind of has like a breakdown, and they pull him off and they send him to this like recovery facility. And it's like, it's about this madhouse, and these people are like, the psychiatrist comes in and he's like, yeah, I'm going to take a different approach to healing them, kind of thing. Like, I'm going to let them play out their fantasies, kind of thing. And it's really deep, and it has a lot of themes of good and evil, and like what what one of my favorite quotes in it is, "You're convinced that God is dead because of the evil in the world. Then why don't you think he's alive because of the goodness in the world?" And I'm like,
Mm,
damn, like that's some deep shit right
that's
there.
a good line.
Right, and yeah, it's just a fantastic movie, and yeah, he was nominated for a Golden Globe in 1980 for Best Supporting Actor from that one, and he's just like he's mad. It's hilarious. He comes in and does a whole like Shakespeare bit, and it's you just got to see it. Everyone needs to watch The Ninth Configuration. It's a little different, but Blatty directed it himself,
Oh,
so he
that's
wrote the
good.
book and then adapted it and stuff, and then he also uh, then in Exorcist 3, when Blatty went and did that, Scott Wilson had a part as one of the doctors, and I thought it was hilarious because he's like, there's a scene where Kinderman, the detective, George C. Scott,
Hmm.
was gonna come and see him, and so he's Scott Wilson is practicing his speech, of like what, because he's been like working on this like um this speech to like tell Kinderman about this investigation that he's doing and trying to find the Gemini killer and all this stuff. And so he's like, he's smoking a cigarette and he's reading, because the scene opens and he's just talking and you hear him and he's like, oh, like this is interesting. And then he'll repeat a couple things and then it pans over to him and he's got like these cue cards that he's been writing out and he's like practicing his dramatic pauses and like
Oh
where he
god.
where he takes a cigarette drag and stuff. And then when, like when Kinderman comes in and he sits down and he's like, it's like, you know that boy, the one in the cell, like the one that you were looking at the other day, and it's like, well, yes. And he's like, so something came to me during the night and stuff, and he's like glancing over at his cue cards, and he's like taking drags off his cigarette for dramatic effect, and like Kinderman's just like so into this kind of thing, right? And it's just like the way that it's portrayed is just fantastic. So, and that's my favorite Exorcist movie is number 3.
I had finally watched it just a few months ago, and it is phenomenal.
Right? I love it. And the book that it's based on, Legion, is one of my favorite. I think it is my favorite Blatty book. Like I love The Exorcist, but I think Ninth Configuration and Legion I like a little bit more. So those ones I
I
tell everybody to watch them or read them.
Yeah, the Exorcist has always been one of my favorite horror movies, and I had never read the book, so I finally decided to read it, and I finished it, and I was like, holy shit, that was really good, but I kind of wish I had read this before watching the movie 30 times because there was no punch to it because
You knew it was going to happen,
I
kind of
knew
thing.
everything that was going to happen. There wasn't really anything new. Like I know there was a couple things they left um, out of the movie from the book, but it wasn't enough to it hit me as hard as it probably could have had I not seen the movie yet. Whereas Legion, I read that first, and then immediately after, I was like, okay, now I got to find the movie. And equally, both, I was just like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Especially freaking Brad Dourif, man.
Yeah, he was fantastic, and just how it like the switch over from uh, the actor that played Damien to him, like
Yeah,
that was jarring because you're just like, what's going on here? It was wait, that's not the same guy. That's Brad Dourif.
because
Where did Chucky come from? You know?
didn't they? Was that it wasn't a planned thing, was it?
There's actually a Legion cut of the film, where it's all I think it's all Dourif.
Oh,
And
okay.
then the studio was like, oh, and this is like where Exorcist 3 really suffered, I think, was, well, I mean, because they kind of shoehorned in the exorcism at the end, because the book does not have an
Yeah,
exorcism anywhere in it, right? But the studio was like, well, you can't sell this movie unless it's attached to the Exorcist series, so you got to call it Exorcist 3, you can't call it Legion. And then he was like, okay, whatever. And then the studio was like, well, since you're calling it Exorcist 3, you kind of got to have an exorcism in the movie. And Blatty's just like, oh, for fuck's sake. And they're like, and we would really like if you attached some of the star power from the original to this one. So that's why they brought in the father.
oh, that's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's why they had him in there, because it was originally just supposed to be all Brad Dourif. But then I like how they switched it over so that it's like it's the Gemini killer in his body, and when the Gemini killer, like when he's looking with his spirit eye or whatever the fuck, I don't know,
His third eye, yeah.
Yes, they're like when it's like look with the eyes of faith, and then it's like Brad Dourif's there yelling like a maniac. And
Yeah.
what some great fucking lines that he gave in that movie. Like,
It's damn near every line he had is
mm.
just gold.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was
And
great.
I remember hearing about how it had a alternate cut with just all Brad Dourif and no uh, exorcism scene. And the one I watched was on Shutter, and it said, "Oh, you know what? Okay." At first, I was thinking it said director's cut, but I think it was just the artwork. It was the updated artwork from Scream Factory.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so it said collector's edition on it, and that was just the artwork they used for it. So I just assumed, oh, this must be it. But then came the exorcism scene, and I was just like, ah, shit, this isn't it. But it would take, and at least it was well done anyway.
Yeah,
And
like
it would have taken a lot to diminish what came before it, you know.
yeah, and like the way that the book ends, I liked like it brought a tear to my eye the way that they ended in the book, but they couldn't really do that in the movie. And I've seen like in the Legion cut, um, instead of in lieu of having the exorcism, it's just like when the old lady attacks the family, she just kind of
Yeah,
like she just kind of stops, and then they're just like, I need to go to the hospital, and Kinderman goes and walks into the cell, and then just like shoots him in the head, and then it's like, and that's the end.
yeah,
And it's like, okay, so maybe the studio was right into throwing this exorcism in. And I
yeah.
don't know. It's a hard one to adapt, I think, because it definitely has a bit of a anticlimactic ending.
Hmm.
But everything in the middle, the whole journey of Exorcist 3 is one of my favorite things ever.
It to me probably has the best jump scare of any horror movie.
Oh, the nurse.
God,
Yeah.
yes,
Well,
because
it's just it drags it out so long,
exactly it in to a point where,
and then there's a fake out jump scare.
yeah, when the
Yeah, he's
guy's just
just
laying in
like,
the
"What
bed or
are you
whatever.
doing in my room?" And you're like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, okay, well, we diffused it, but then it keeps going for another minute, and you're just like, oh, are we working up to something? Holy shit!
Yeah.
I remember I had just well, the first time I watched it, I always knew about that scene, but I had never seen it played out in full. So that scene finally came. So I mean, it didn't scare me because I knew it was coming. I mean, it still gives you chills no matter what because it's so effective. But um, I I live with one of my roommates and one of my buddies, and he was walking by getting ready to leave or something, and I go, hey, watch this scene real quick, and he was like, okay. So I rewound it all the way back, and he's just standing there watching it. I don't even think he knew it was a horror movie. He's just standing there just watching it, and then finally after the after the big jump scare, I like look back at him, and his eyes are just wide, almost looking ghost white.
So, jeez, why would you do this to me?
He's like, well, I'm not gonna go out now that it's all dark. I'm just gonna stay home. What, in your opinion, or at least I guess yeah, in your opinion, is the scariest movie of all time? Or either what do you think is the scariest movie of all time, or what movie scares you the most? Is the scariest movie to you?
That's a tough one. That's a really tough one.
Yeah.
I think that maybe The Thing would have to be. It's definitely up there. I remember the first time I didn't see The Thing until 2009. I think
Mm-hmm.
the original. Me and my buddy rented it on Halloween when we were living down in Lethbridge for college, and we watched this terrible fucking movie called Skinwalkers.
Oh yeah.
And it's like this low budget I don't know. It's about like the Wendigo kind of thing, but it was like this cheap. Like we watched it at 1.5 speed or whatever because we're just like just fucking end. Um, and then we watched The Thing, and we were both like, "Holy shit!" Like this is like we were on the edge of our seat the whole time, and then like the movie was over, and we're just like, "What?" Like that's what happens. Like oh my god. And so it definitely did what it set out to do, and I love it so much, and like it doesn't scare me as much anymore, of course, but like just that psychological aspect of like anyone could be the thing, or who is this kind of thing, and yeah, I thought that was great. As for another scary movie, I'm just kind of looking around my room here, being like, what's a really scary movie?
Have you seen the original? What is it? The Thing from Outer Space?
The Thing from Another World.
Another World, yeah.
No, I managed to find the DVD when I was down in the city a week ago, and I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. But I have read Who Goes There, the novella that it was based on,
Mm-hmm.
and it's from the 1930s, I think, or something. And it's good, but it's got that like that 80s or that not that 80s the fucking like that 50s kind of sci-fi cheesiness.
Oh, okay.
It's just like, oh, like what are we to do kind of thing, like strange happenings.
Yeah.
We need to get everyone. We need to. There's things going on here. And then yeah, John Carpenter. Well, the guy who directed Logan's Run was originally supposed to do the second adaptation after The Thing from Another World. So he wrote a screenplay from it, but then like nobody opted to buy it or something. And then like 3 or 5 years later, John Carpenter presented his, and then the studio bought it. So in the book I have, actually, he writes a little I think it's a foreword maybe to the book. The guy who wrote his screenplay, because then his screenplay is included in the book, and he was just like, yeah, it was neat that John Carpenter got his hand at things, but like I would have gone a different. I would have kept it more faithful to the book. And I'm just like, shut up, man. Like, obviously, there's a reason yours didn't get bought. It's like because it sounds like a 50s horror movie, and it's like, come on, man, it's the 80s. It's gonna be here forever. I don't know.
I didn't know that John Carpenter did the script for it.
I don't know if he wrote the script. Hold on, where I gotta have a copy of The Thing around here somewhere. Where? Oh, there it is. Here, hold on. I gotta put my headphones down here. Who did the screenplay? Bill Lancaster did the screenplay for The Thing. And yeah,
he was also the writer of Bad News Bears, apparently.
Like the original or not the Bad News Bears?
Oh, good God. He has 6 credits to his name. All but one, The Thing, are Bad News Bears.
Oh. Because, right after you write The Thing, all that you can really go from there is baseball movies.
Well, he did Bad News Bears. It is from his first to his last. Bad News Bears, Bad News Bears 2, Bad News Bears 3, Bad News Bears TV series, The Thing, and then nothing until 2005 for the Bad News Bears remake.
Oh, so he did do the remake too. That's yeah. Man, that's a story that I want to hear. Like why? Who did he lose a bet to? Where it's like, hey man, or maybe he was just like, I really fucking hate writing baseball movies, but they're the only things that like make any money. And somebody was like, hey, why don't you? John Carpenter wants to do this movie. Why don't you do a screenplay?
And then he peaked and then didn't do anything for the next
and then it's
25
like,
years.
There it is. I guess Bad News Bears.
I'm tapped out.
Yeah, I gotta go back. Gotta go back to what I know.
Are you a fan of either? I know a lot of people hate both of these. I really like them both, but are you a fan of either the Insidious or the Conjuring films?
I haven't. Oh, hold on, fuck! I just knocked over a bunch of shit there. I haven't seen any of the Insidious movies, and I've only seen The Conjuring and Annabelle, and I have been needing to check out Conjuring 2. I thought that the first Conjuring was really good. I thought it was really creepy, and it scared me. Like,
Hell yes.
It was freaky as hell, and I was like, man, I am very impressed with this movie. Like, bravo! Not a lot of things scare me like that, anymore. And that one, it really did. So I thought it was great. I have yet to see the second one, like I said, but I have it. I haven't seen Annabelle Creation, and I have not seen The Nun. I've heard The Nun was pretty bad. It was just jump scares, and like not even good jump scares.
Which sucks because the Conjuring films didn't lean on jump scares. No,
they had some great jump scares in them, but
yeah,
it was like here we're gonna creep you out. We're gonna creep you out first, and then we're gonna jump scare you.
I think one of the scariest scenes I've seen in a long time is from The Conjuring, and it's when uh, the little girl wakes up in the middle of the night and thinks she sees something behind the door.
Oh yeah.
You know, that whole scene, maybe it's just as convincing because that little girl did a damn good job at being frightened, but that was just a good example of going back to old school horror movies where it's the things you don't see that are really scary.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
there was nothing happened in that whole scene except for her being scared shitless until the door finally slams and there's the jump scare, but then scene is over after that, and it's just white knuckling it that whole time.
You're just like, something's there, man.
And then there wasn't.
Yeah.
The Conjuring 2, I would say, it was as good, but there were some things that were unnecessary. It seemed like they shoehorned a couple things in there that were just typical horror movie tropes that it didn't need. Little sub story arcs, if that's what you want to call it, just little things they threw in there that was like, this is unnecessary. You didn't need this whatsoever.
Well,
And
the reason I haven't checked that one out is like it's 134 minutes. Like
that's long for a
that's a
horror
really
movie.
long movie. Yeah.
But again, it's also I'm a fan of, like, it's funny that I don't like more Stanley Kubrick films because of his very long scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And I love when movies have very long scenes, and that is one that, not overly long, but it does have just long, sustained scenes, and that's what makes it scary.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know, and again,
Because you
there's
never know what's gonna happen when there's no cuts for a long time. You're just like, oh shit.
yeah, something's
I
building
gotta,
here.
yeah.
And
And
the first two Insidious films are really good. They have the same vibe. I mean, it's the same writers and directors. So, um, the third one was I didn't care for it. The only good, I kid you not, the only good scare in that whole movie was the very final 10 seconds of the movie.
oh jeez.
I was like, God damn it! Where was this 2 hours ago?
What are they up to now? Was it the fourth one that just came out?
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either, just
Yeah.
because it didn't look very interesting at all, which sucks because it's the same writer that did all the other ones.
Yeah. Well, maybe in the last 10 seconds there'll be something that was worth
Yeah,
sitting through.
yeah. Ooh,
Uh,
and it's the same guy that wrote I don't know if he did the second one, but I know he did the first Saw movie.
okay, that's a franchise I enjoy. I haven't seen
Uh,
all of them, but
I haven't seen the latest, but I've seen all the rest.
I haven't seen Jigsaw. I think I've seen a couple like peppered around. Um, not all of them though. I've been trying to find them because every now and then I'll find them at the thrift shops.
Mm-hmm.
So I've slowly been building up like the whole anthology, and then I'll just take a day where I'm just like, all right, who wants a lot of gore? I was gonna
Yeah,
watch gore all day, and I'm like, oh, this is a bad idea. Should have spaced these out.
I should have taken up the opportunity when they first released the whole collection minus Jigsaw. It was 7 Blu-rays and it was $10 at Walmart.
What?
I every time I was like, oh, it's $10 as a brand new release. It's only going to go down from here. No, now it's like 25 or 30,
Eh,
which
it's
isn't
still not
terrible for
bad.
7 movies, but yeah,
Yeah, should have gone for the $10.
I know it now. Damn, hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, right. Always, always.
Have you seen the VHS films? Speaking of VHS.
Of the Saw?
No. Just how circling back to
I
when we were
see.
doing the VHS earlier.
VHS. Yeah. No, I have not. But they've always piqued my interest
The
because they're like the horror, the found footage thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Uh,
because the first one is just these people get hired to break into a house to steal something, and one of the guys just finds, I think he finds someone dead in a room, and they were watching TV, and there's just a bunch of tapes everywhere. So, he pops one in, and it's one of the segments of the film, and then afterwards he's like, oh, what the hell? That was weird. Let's watch another one, and that's another segment.
yeah.
So it was pretty cool how they weaved that in there, and the first two are really good. I think I've seen the third one, but I don't really remember it. There may be a fourth, but I don't think so.
Let's see here. VHS 1, 2, VHS Viral is the third one, and the fourth one, it's a spin-off called Siren.
Oh yeah, because that was one of the segments from the first movie,
Oh, okay. But it's
which
not
that,
really
that
good.
one was genuinely creepy. It was one of those ones, again, it was just kind of shrouded, not even shrouded in mystery. You just, because I think it was just these guys pick up this girl from a bar or something, and she just is very quiet and acting really strange, and you're the whole time you're just, but they, they're drunk, so they're just screwing with her, like not caring that she's acting really weird, and then shit just goes 180.
Huh. Yeah, I should
And
check those ones out.
the first one has some pretty good ones. They're a little more straightforward, whereas the second one, they were like, all right, now let's get into some weird shit.
Okay. I do enjoy my anthology horror films, so
And
sounds
speaking
fantastic.
of which, and speaking of anthology films and the Scream Factory, whenever it came out, was it this year or last year? I think it might have been last year. They re-released Tales from the Hood.
Oh shit! You know what? I've never seen Tales from the Hood, but every time I see it posted somewhere or somebody talking about it, they're always like, "Yeah, this is a good movie." Is it
It's
good or is it
damn
another
good.
like bad good movie?
Yeah, and it was written and directed by oh, now I'm trying to think of his name. I can't remember his name, but it's he's a black guy, so he made it Tales from the Hood, but he in the middle of all the horror stuff, he had to interject some social commentary in there, which I think he did very well, because I think the first story has to do with, oh god, now I just now thought about how with the times it is, even though it's 20 years old, the first one is about police brutality,
Oh shit!
and then the second one is just like straight up racism, and then the third one is it only three stories? I think there is only three. And the third one is about like the urban life, gangs and all that. So it was
Yeah.
just kind of cool that how he decided to interject those in there. But also he's like, I really love horror movies, so let's just throw it into where I'm from.
Oh, cool. Like, yeah.
And there is four. One of them was, I guess on the surface it was just about like spousal abuse and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it was through the kid's eyes, so he was seeing I think he's a stepdad, but he was seeing him as a monster.
Oh, okay.
That's how he
Interesting.
was perceiving it because he was so young, Like it was really cool they did it, and I just saw the trailer for the second one, and it's the same writer and director, but dear God, it looks awful.
Yeah.
It looks so bad. It's like, how is this the same person and it looks this shitty?
Well, I mean, it might have been like a here, do this thing. Like here's a I don't know, an idea or something, and then studio being like, oh, well, do that again, make us more money. And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I told all the stories I want to tell in this anthology.
Here's a little bit of money, make this movie, and we're not gonna promote it and just put it out on digital. It's like, okay.
Oh God. Well,
Yeah.
what was the second one? Tales from the Hood 2. Oh, Tales from the Hood 2? God, that came out this year.
Yeah, and then just like look how terrible the cover is.
What the hell?
I don't even think it has been released yet. I might be wrong though.
Jeez. Yeah, with the butler guy and
Yeah.
that looks super cheesy.
Yeah, and the it's a 30-second trailer, so that tells you something too.
God. Yeah, pass. I'll go
No.
check out the original though.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Huh.
All right. Well, let's see. I'm going to do my unless you have anything else you want to talk about, I was going to start the wrap-up game.
I don't. No, I'm pretty good.
All right. Well, as I'm trying to find a new way a wrap-up game for now, I'm just going to stick to what I've done the past two, which is Desert Island.
Okay.
So, well, I was going to ask what your Desert Island horror movie would be, but I think I know. I was going to say The Thing for you.
Yeah, I could probably watch the thing over and over and over again
That'd be your.
and not get tired of it. Yeah.
And then we kind of touched on this earlier. What would be your, I guess your Desert Island franchise?
Ooh, that one is a little tougher. Probably want something.
I was gonna say, mind you, there's Scream, which the first three are pretty damn good. Fourth one is all right for what it was, which was just a rehash of the first one.
Yeah, I might go with the Nightmare on Elm Street series. just because there's enough variety in there that I'm sure I couldn't get bored.
You get enough horror, and you get enough of the comedy.
Yeah.
See, and the thing is there's plenty of other franchises that have better quality movies, like the Evil Dead franchise, but there's only 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely feel like the Scream would be, or Scream. What are we talking about? Friday the Nightmare. God damn! Oh my god.
Freddy's getting in your head there.
Freddy. Yeah. Jeez. I haven't been sleeping. Be too worried about Freddy coming after me. No. Yeah. Well, the Nightmare. Yeah. There's enough variety in there that I could, depending on what I feel like, and there's a lot of it, so it's a lot of quantity in that one.
Yeah. There's. What, 6, 7, 8? If you don't include the remake?
Yes. 5, 6, 5, 6.
I guess if you include Freddy versus Jason in there too. Which,
yeah.
On its own, we could have gotten a far worse Freddy versus Jason movie.
Oh yeah, no, that was I enjoyed it. That was a fun movie.
Did you ever hear what the original ending was supposed to be?
Is that when Ash shows up and then it's like, oh shit?
Oh wow, I don't think I heard that one. The one I remember reading, which it would have been fun to see, but I don't think it would have panned out very well for a lot of fans. But I guess it was supposed to be they were duking it out, doing their thing, and then all of a sudden, I guess because aren't they at the end? Aren't they at Camp Crystal Lake?
Yeah, they're at Crystal Lake.
Okay, so yeah, I think it's when they're out there on the dock. I think like the lake drains, the lake bed gives way, they fall down into hell or something like that, and they're like looking around, like they're both looking like, what the hell's going on? And then apparently, Pinhead was supposed to walk up and say, "Now what's the problem?
Yeah.
What's the problem here?" And it just cuts to black or something like that.
Yeah. Right.
Which like I said, it would have been cool to see, but I don't think it would have been the right ending.
No, that would have been kind of like, what? Yeah. And then we never get another movie.
No, exactly.
Explaining that, right? Like, how long did it take for Freddy versus Jason to come out after the teaser at the end of Jason Goes to Hell?
Oh God! Oh, that's right. I forgot the glove.
Because the glove comes up and grabs it, and then it was like 10 years or something. Well,
yeah,
maybe not that long, but like it was.
It might have been.
It was a good chunk of time. Absolutely. Where is it? Jason Goes to Hell. Because Final Friday came out 93. Oh yeah, maybe it did take that.
Damn, and I don't think Freddy vs. Jason came out until 2005.
Freddy vs. Jason 2003.
Yeah.
Oh, 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, 10 years. That is a good chunk of time.
All right.
Before I forget, going back to the anthology thing, my unfinished episode that I started recording the other day, I was doing a horror movie. No, I'm sorry. Halloween movie recommendations, which I said aren't. I said this isn't a list of like the best horror movies. This is just the fun movies to watch around Halloween time. And one of the anthologies I threw in there, I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but it's a pair of Japanese films called Three Extremes.
Three Extremes? No, I haven't heard of those.
It's okay. Well, it's a little confusing to say it, but so the way they released them is part 1 here is actually part 2 over there, and part 2 here. I'm sorry, did I say that right?
Yeah.
So the Three Extremes part 1 here is part 2 over there, and then our Three Extremes part 2 was part 1 over there. And the first one is just, it's some of they start off with one story that's a little more subtle and kind of somber. It's not one of those ones that gets scary until the final, I'd say like 7 minutes, because they're all 35 minute segments.
Right.
So that one, it kind of veers on like what the fuck territory, and then it ends, which is kind of good. They made a full length movie out of it, which it didn't need.
Yeah, this is the dumplings.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the second one, I think it's the second one, called Cut. That one was some of the best horror I've seen in a long time, and it's almost like a play because it's all just set in one room, and I don't think it leaves at all. And just yeah, if you can find them, I know I have the DVD of the first three extremes. If you can find them, you should definitely watch them because I mean, if you've seen the original like Ring movies and all that, they know how to
Right.
scare the shit out of you over there.
Oh yeah, no, Japan's got some pretty wicked horror.
I remember seeing the original Ring, and that I knew what I was expecting, but my God, it's far scarier than the American one.
Yeah, Ringu.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the Grudge? The original one for that.
Ju-on?
Juon. Yeah, yeah,
Ju-on?
yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Audition?
I've seen enough on Audition to know that I never want to see Audition.
I'm
Um,
assuming you've seen the infamous scene then.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I can deal without that. I saw a similar thing happen on the Last House on the Left.
Oh,
Um,
really? I don't think I've seen the
well, because
original. I've only seen the
which one?
remake.
Does it involve teeth and a reproductive organ? Or no? Because she
Mm,
just chops it off with something else, right?
in Audition, she saws his leg off with piano wire.
Oh! I thought we were getting into genital mutilation here for a
Oh
second.
no,
Because that
it's
happens in Last House on the Left.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't seen the original. I've just seen the remake, and I don't think that's in the remake.
No, yeah, it's the mom that bites the guys. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
have you seen the remake?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I wanted to watch the original first, and the original's weird, man. Like it's super gruesome and really uncomfortable. Like it deals a lot with like rape and violence against women and stuff, and but it's all
yeah.
set to this like happy-go-lucky '70s music soundtrack that you're just like, what the fuck, man? Like,
It seems like it was meant to unnerve you. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's not
yeah,
going to be so bad, and then you're like, holy shit, this is bad.
right. And you're just like, yeah, the idea they are it's weird enough that it just like sits there and you think about it and you're like, oh, I don't feel good. Like, yeah, I had a couple friends that was like, yeah, this movie was great because it was on the horror-thon. We watched it and I had never seen the original before. Sometimes I'll do that. I'll throw a movie on and be like, everyone watch this movie, and then I'll be like, I probably shouldn't have told everyone to watch this movie. Um, but I had a couple friends that were like, man, I loved it. Like the acting was great and like it was cheesy, but it was dark and like it made me uncomfortable, and that's kind of what I wanted. And then I had other friends that were like, no, like I hate this movie. Like this is disgusting. Why'd you pick this movie and stuff? And it's like it got my anxiety up and all this stuff. And I'm like, ah, shit. Like, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Wes
Well,
Craven.
yeah, it was his first movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. His
Oh
first.
man.
So it
And then I
was.
think he went to Hills Have Eyes after that. I think
Yep.
I might be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hills Have Eyes was right after that, and then I think Elm Street came not long after that.
man, he came out the gate with just three heavy hitters.
Oh yeah. Well, and then like really early. Well, was Elm Street his third movie? Um, like it's all super like exploitation kind of film, like especially with the '70s stuff. It's like, wow, this is weird, man. Like this is
had a very
super.
serious tone though. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's like, have you seen any of George Romero's other stuff? Last House on the Left, there's one oh no, never mind. Yeah, that was his first writing and directing job. And then The Fireworks Woman came out before Hills Have Eyes, and then we got Stranger in Our House, Evolution of Snuff, Here Come the Tigers. Oh, but he was like cinematographer on that kind of stuff.
Oh.
He did Swamp Thing before he did Elm Street. That's right.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the original Swamp Thing movie that was garbage. I mean, it's fun garbage, but it's still garbage. What was I saying? Where was I going with this?
Have I seen something?
Damn, lost my train of thought. I'm sure I had a point, but then I don't know. I got distracted looking up this Wes Craven stuff. It was something along the lines of Wes Craven. Oh yes, George A. Romero.
Oh yeah, duh.
Have you seen his other stuff when he kind of dabbled outside of the horror genre, like before he wrote Dawn of the Dead?
No, I think I've only ever strictly seen his horror movies.
Yeah, the Dead series. Because he did I have this box set from Arrow Video called Between Night and Dawn,
Hmm.
and it's 3 movies that he did that were kind of off of the horror genre. So there's Always Vanilla, which was like just a commentary on like the social scene in the '70s kind of thing, which it's an interesting movie. It's a lot of like I don't know, gender roles and that kind of thing, and like what's expected of people, and it's interesting. It's not for everyone though, so I can't really recommend it. Season of the Witch was really good. It's about this woman who starts to dabble in witchcraft and stuff, and after she has kind of a shitty home life, and so that's pretty neat. And then he did The Crazies, which has been remade,
Oh, I've
but
seen the remake.
I haven't seen the original one yet. That's the last one in the box set that I have to watch. But yeah, he had some good stuff. So it's that very, I don't know, that early '70s kind of horror feel for some of that stuff, and that's what Wes Craven has in those earlier movies. Where
Yeah.
you're not really sure what to, and that goes back to what we were talking about earlier when I was like '80s was really where horror hit its stride, and the '70s was kind of it was still trying to figure out what it was, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think Dawn of the Dead is probably the best like zombie movie ever made.
I think I like Day better than I like Dawn.
Really?
Yeah.
I have only seen it from beginning to end in one sitting, probably once, and then every other time just, oh, it's on TV, I'll watch it, you know.
Mm. Yeah, I've watched it like 4 times in the past month, just
Oh
because
shit.
I was like leading up to the horrorthon, like okay, it's the first movie that I'm watching, but I put it on the first day of October because I was at school all day and then I had to work all night, so I'm like, it's gonna be my Day of the Dead, haha. And so I watched it. I watched it leading up to it, and then I went to Edmonton for a wedding, and it was still the weekend before October started. And then I like brought my VHS copy and down at my grandma's condo down there. She has the TV VCR combo, so I have it on VHS. So I was watching it there, and then I watched it again, and then I managed to fit it in on the Monday. So it was just like 4 times immediately back to back kind of thing, and I was just like, I really enjoyed this movie, and it's a lot of fun. The soundtrack is fantastic, and I don't know, the characters are great despite them mostly being assholes. Like
Yeah. It's the
I
one set in the army bunker, right?
yeah, where it's
Yeah.
like the scientists are trying to figure out what to do, and there's the doctor that's like trying to domesticate the zombies,
Yeah.
and it's just like weird. They remade it though, eh? Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Bloodline, it's called or whatever. And I saw the trailer for it, and it looks really dumb. And I don't know if I'm gonna watch it, but
Well, actually, I think okay, well, now I'm going to look it up. I think I might be wrong, but that might be a sequel to the a remake of Day of the Dead because I remember there was a. Okay, well, first off, did you like the remake of Dawn of the Dead?
um, I have mixed feelings about the remake. It's not great, but it's not terrible. But Zack Snyder makes better superhero movies. So, because he was the one that did that one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he wrote and
Um,
directed it.
yeah. I don't know. It was uh,
Because
pass.
I remember I was really confused because they uh they did the Dawn of the Dead remake and I really liked it, and then how many years later that came out in 2004, and then in 2008 they did remake Day of the Dead that also had Ving Rhames, but he's playing a totally different character.
Okay.
Yeah, that was just called Day of the Dead. That was in 2008, and then that
And
whenever
then
that new one came out.
Day of the Dead Bloodline came out this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's just based on characters created by George A. Romero.
Yeah. It's only
First.
got a 3.4 rating on IMDb, so that can't be too good.
Yeah, no, it looked when I watched the trailer for it, it looked like garbage. It's like, oh, the zombie that they're trying to domesticate like escapes, and then he's like crawling through the vents, and then he's watching people have sex, and it's just like, what is he's learning? Oh my god. Brings a new meaning to rigor mortis. I don't know.
Oh god. Or a new meaning to necrophilia.
Oh yeah, that too. Best of both worlds, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Oh well,
So yeah, I don't know. Back to Dawn of the Dead. I don't know. It's not. I don't know. It's not my favorite. I guess the remake's not my favorite.
um, I really liked it, but it was also a really fun movie to watch in the theater. That was definitely a theater movie. Because I just remember it opening. There's no credits or anything. It's that long, like 12-minute opening of her at the hospital, and then her at home, and then her boyfriend gets bitten by the little girl, and then her driving through town, and then finally crashing. And when she crashes, as soon as she hits the uh, credits start up, and I just remember as soon as the credits started up, like everybody just started clapping and cheering, and it made it so much more fun.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
always
because
fun
that
when.
one that one goes balls out crazy. Like as soon as that you get through that big sequence, right?
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then the whole, like, when those people show up and that really heavy lady gets bitten, but then she comes back later on and is charging at her. Everyone was losing their shit in the theater when that big lady got up and just started running after her.
Like, oh my
A fat lady can run.
god, look at her go! Oh, jeez.
um, let's see. Was that it for Desert Island? Let's see. We did franchise. We did movie. Um, well, I want to say. I guess this is kind of along the same lines as. No, I guess not along the same lines as franchise. I was gonna say. I guess director.
Favorite director? Hmm. I don't know, my instincts tell me to go John Carpenter. I
I was
do
gonna say.
I do know that he has like some duds on there, but like Carpenter's got some great movies. And I mean, I'm not as well versed in Toby Hooper's other things or David Cronenberg or even George A. Romero. I don't really know if I could call Romero my favorite one. I think I got to lean towards Carpenter. I mean, I could always say Stephen King because when Stephen King directs a movie, he really knocks it out of the park. Uh, no, but in all
Um,
honesty, I really enjoy Maximum Overdrive, as bad as it is, and then Sleepwalkers is fantastic. It's probably my favorite good bad movie or bad good. I don't know however you say that. But yeah, John Carpenter. We'll go John Carpenter.
all right, that sounds like a good one.
Yeah.
It's funny. I had never seen uh, Sleepwalkers either until my girlfriend told me about it, and she was like, "How have you never seen it? It was written by Stephen King." And I was just like, "Okay, like let's watch it." And we watched it, and I was like, "This movie is terrible. It's so bad, but goddamn if I'm not enjoying it."
Right. It's like yeah, they wrote it to make it fun or something. I don't know. It was just like I was telling one of my coworkers about it today or the other day at work too, and because she's into like weird horror movies and stuff too. And I'm like, hey, like fucking incestual shape shifting vampires, and she's like, I'm in. Like
Written by Stephen King.
written by Stephen King. It's great, and there's the one scene that has like four different directors in there
Oh yeah,
because like Stephen King
Stephen
walked
King
up.
walks, and then Clive Barker.
Yeah, well,
Right?
first he goes up to Toby Hooper,
Oh,
and
okay.
then he walks away, and then yeah, he goes up to Clive Barker, and then it cuts away, and there's like the at the lab or whatever, and like John Landis is one of the doctors there,
Oh, that's right.
and I think there was one more, but I can't remember who it was. But
Stephen King
yeah,
doesn't pop up at all in the movie.
is it what?
Stephen King doesn't pop up at all in the movie.
No, yeah, he's the one. He's like the gravekeeper.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's
Um,
right.
yeah, that walks up to Clive Barker and is like, "I ain't taking the blame for this."
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about the movie? Are you talking to me again? Is this one of those instances where you're talking to me? It's like I ain't taking the rap for this thing.
his his Oscar worthy acting.
Yeah. Well, it was hilarious because he like goes from um like he walks up to Toby Hooper and is like, "Yeah, I'm not taking the blame for this," and he's like, it's not whatever. Like, I'm not the guy to talk to. You got to find someone else. And there's like 2 minutes where he just keeps walking up to different people and like, And he's just like, listen, this isn't my, and they're like, not my department, like, and they keep walking away. And then he finally gets to the guy in charge, which is Clive Barker. And then he's just like, hey, and Clive Barker's like, I don't have time for your shit, okay? And he just like walks away. And then Stephen King just stands there like defeated. He's like, he's been going through everybody, just like slowly gaining his confidence to be like, listen, man, this isn't my fault. And then Clive Barker's just like, fuck off, man.
I feel like that you can tell that had to have been Stephen King's idea, because he's good at writing a lot of things, but I feel like comedy isn't one of them.
Yeah, I don't know. Maximum Overdrive was pretty funny.
Like, well, albeit unintentionally.
Well, yeah, I don't think
he might have meant to.
Kind of in a cocaine dream at the time. I don't think he remembers a lot of Maximum Overdrive, because like, hey, you've seen the trailer for like the promo thing for Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah.
Where it's just him like in front of the truck, and he's just like, his eyes are fucking wide, and he's like, I'm Stephen King, and nobody can do horror like I can, so I'm gonna, if you gotta do something, if you want something done right, you do it yourself.
He's like, I'm ready to scare the shit out of you, or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna scare the hell out of you, and you're like, holy fuck, like, man, dust your mustache, you got some coke, like fucking, oh man. But it was, and then I watched it, and I'm just like, and I was at the right age when I watched it, because like this was that age where I was like getting into horror movies, and it was like I was in junior high or something, and I was like, fucking AC/DC or die, baby. And it's just like, what? There's a Stephen King movie where like the soundtrack is entirely AC/DC. Like, sign me up. Emilio Estevez, what? Like, this is the greatest thing ever. I have the remake too. I managed to find a VHS of Trucks.
And wow, I didn't know that was.
Yeah, it got remade in like the late night, because it was a short story, and then Stephen King adapted it into Maximum Overdrive, and then like in 1998, somebody was like, "Hey, you know what movie wasn't done justice? Maximum Overdrive. So we're gonna remake this, but we're gonna keep everything that made the original awesome, like, out of this. So I guess it's just terrible. I haven't even taken the time to watch it yet, but at least we have the original."
Yeah. Good old Stephen King, man. I'm excited for the It Chapter 2.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's so fun. You would think people going to see the original, the first part when, it first came out last year, knew something about it, in the slightest. Even if they just knew Pennywise, I feel like they should have known something about it. And I remember sitting there watching it on opening night, and it fading to black, and then it saying It Chapter 1. I heard so many people saying, "What? There's going to be another one?" It's like,
right?
People.
They're like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, the movie's over. Like, are you stupid? Like, I had to slap a couple of my friends upside the head because of that too, and they're like, I didn't know that it was in 2 parts. And I'm like, you've seen the original, right? And they're like, yeah.
Okay, where the hell do you think the adult versions were?
Yeah, where were the adults? And they're like, well, I don't know. I thought they just weren't doing that this time around. I'm like,
oh, God.
Are you? What? I couldn't. Oh.
I quit. Fuck this. Going home.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm out. Like, sorry guys, you can't. Nah.
Pulled a Cartman. I was like, screw you guys. I'm going home.
Exactly. Oh, but yeah, Chapter 2 looks like it's going to be fantastic. Have you been keeping up with Castle Rock at all?
Yes. We finished it, and my opinion of it is it is just like a Stephen King book. It is thoroughly engaging and great until the last 7 minutes.
Ooh, okay, so I've only seen the first 3 episodes, so don't spoil anything.
No, I won't. It just, I'm sure if I watch the last episode again, I'll be like, okay, that was pretty damn good. But initial viewing, I was like, yep, just like a Stephen King book, he wrote himself into a corner, and this is the ending we got.
No. Well, hey, that's so truly King, though.
Exactly. Okay. But like I said, I'll probably watch it again and be like, you know what, that was appropriate, because I haven't heard too many people say they didn't like they didn't like the last episode. So again, maybe it was just me and I had higher hopes.
Yeah.
So I'll have to see what you think of when you get to the end of it.
Yeah, I'll definitely let you know. I think like I was trying to record it as it came out, just on my DVR, but I recorded the first three and then I missed like 4 episodes or something,
Oh shit!
like 3 or 4 episodes, and I'm just like, oh shit, what? Like where? How many have they played already? Jesus! And I'm like, okay, so I'm like, maybe I'll wait until they get reruns so I can record the whole thing and then just binge it.
See, that's the dumb thing is, it's a Hulu original, and do you guys not have Hulu in Canada?
We do, but I have Netflix and I got something else. I don't know, but I'm just like I'm not gonna get another subscription service to
Yeah.
and so we have it on Space Channel. It and on our sci-fi kind of, it's like our sci-fi channel, sci-fi and horror. So they've been playing it there. I'm pretty sure it's done now, but
Yeah,
yeah, they were doing like they played the
so.
first three in one night kind of thing. So I sat down and that was great. And I just watched the first 3 episodes and I'm like, this is intense. And
That's
then
what they did on that's what they did on Hulu. They gave you the first 3 episodes the first night, and then they did one every Wednesday, I think.
yeah, something like that.
Which is crazy to me because people overseas are like, "We don't have Hulu. How are we supposed to watch it?" And I'm like, "There is no Hulu overseas. Like, how does that work? Maybe because they mostly do TV, and it's really hard to get TV rights as opposed to Netflix, who movie rights is a little easier, I guess."
But Netflix has a lot of TV series as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I
Yeah.
was like, how is there no Hulu overseas? Or either that, or maybe they were just like, hey, overseas it's easier to just sell the rights to, another station or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know the logistics of overseas television broadcasting streaming services. All I know is that I got my Netflix and my Amazon Prime. That's the other one that I got.
I got lucky because when I went to go visit my mom, she has satellite and she's got like the most premium satellite package ever. She has pretty much everything except for like pay-per-view movies and all that. So
Yeah.
I go, do you have a DirecTV online account? And she was like, no. And I said, I'm gonna make you one. And she was like, why? And I was like, well, for one, I can watch Mr. Mercedes without having to illegally download
Yeah.
it. And I was like, well, now that I made that account, let's try something. So I started downloading apps on my phone. I started downloading like Stars and Showtime and Cinemax, AMC, and FX, and I used her DirecTV code, and they all work now. And I'm like, yes.
Oh, that's awesome. I forgot about Mr. Mercedes.
It's really good. Have you read the series?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, my only complaint with it so far is that, I didn't really, I liked the first book, but it wasn't anything extraordinary. But the first season was amazing. They translated the book really well and even made it better because they fleshed out some more characters that weren't fleshed out in the book. Like they would just, like a couple of his, like one of his coworkers and his boss, they're in the book, but they're only there when he's at work. Whereas in the show, they're fleshed out more and you see them outside of work and stuff like that. And then the second book is my favorite in the series, but for this second season, they just jumped straight to the third book and totally ignored the second one.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's because the main antagonist, sorry, isn't in the second book. But he's in the
Right,
third
because
one.
it was yeah.
So I mean, I can see why they did that, but it's like, well, then, if you're jumping straight ahead to the end of the story, what are you going to do for the third season? And they're like, oh, well, then now we'll go back to the second one and tell a different story.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Do what you want, I guess. Fuck it.
But if you can find the means to watch it, I highly recommend the first season. The second season is halfway through, and it's good. It's starting to pick up, but I still think the first season is a lot better.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll do a little sleuthing and check out. Not this month though, because I'm busy. I'm stacked with movies and stuff. Dang.
And then I don't know when it's coming out, but there's the Creep Show series coming out soon too.
Ooh.
That's going to be on Shudder.
Okay, I have a bunch of like free months for Shudder. I probably only use one of them.
Yeah.
This is from Studio House when I ordered a couple shirts. They're like, "Hey, we got a partnership with Shudder, so
Oh,
here's a month on us." And I'm like, "Oh, well, thank you."
I've been subscribed to it for like a year now, and I hardly ever use it. And the only reason why I don't feel bad about it is because here anyway, I think it's $4.99 a month,
Oh, that's not bad.
which
Yeah,
$5 a month for nothing but horror movies that I don't watch except occasionally isn't terrible.
but in case you ever needed to,
They're there.
there you go. Yeah, maybe I'm subscribed to Crunchyroll right now because like I like anime, but I haven't used it in like everything I have for anime I own, everything I want, you know. So I'm like, and that one's $6.99 a month. So maybe I'll just ditch that one and get Shudder because horror is life. And then
They have some really good selections on it. That's how I watched The Exorcist 3 for the first time.
yeah, that's rad, man. I think
They have some good horror TV series on there too. From oh damn it! Now I gotta look on my list. There was one from the UK, and it is called the the Fades.
the Fades. I've never heard of that one.
It's a really good show. I've seen the first few episodes, and just from those few episodes, I was hooked. It just says 17-year-old Paul is haunted by apocalyptic dreams that neither his therapist or best friend and fellow geeky social outcast Mac can provide answers for. Worse still, Paul is starting to see the Fades, the spirits of the dead, all around him. They're everywhere, but they can't just be seen, heard, or touched by ordinary human beings. But now an embittered and vengeful Fade has found a way to break the barrier between the dead and the living, and Paul and Mac and their friends and family are all right in the eye of the storm. The fate of humanity rests on the hands of the two teenagers who already have seen enough trouble getting through a day in one piece, let alone saving the world.
Jeez, sounds intense.
Yeah, it's got the main actor from Get Out as the other guy as the best friend,
Okay.
and yeah, it's really fun. Like it had some pretty good comedic moments, and then they did a good job on the horror. The first couple episodes, it was a little cheesy, but only because you can tell they weren't given a very big budget, but at least the story is good, so you can kind of forgive it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. The Fades. I need to check that out one. I need to look into the Shutter thing. It's a Shutter scenario.
Like I said, $5 a month here. I don't know if it would. I would think it'd be.
It was probably like
the
$6.99 or something. Probably what I'm paying for the other one right now. So
just trade off.
yeah, exactly. I'll probably use that one more anyway. Use Shutter more than the other thing. So yeah.
All right. Well, I think we'll end it on that note. Damn, we are closing in on 3 hours.
Yeah, we got a lot. You got a lot of content here. We didn't really do an intro. Did you want to cover something like that or?
I usually don't. We just kind of fade in on us talking. So.
All right, then that works. It's perfect. I mean, we kind of went right into it, but yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't intended that, but then that was just immediately how we started talking.
At one point, I'm like, geez, I hope he's recording.
And you know what? I wasn't. I didn't get the first 10 minutes, but luckily my Skype recorder gets my end too. So
oh, okay.
After 10 minutes, I was like, my recording program wasn't up on my screen, and I was like, oh shit, I don't think I clicked record. And I didn't. So the first 10 minutes on my side is going to sound a little muddy, but it's all right.
That's all right. We have a lot to talk about. We did talk about a lot, so yeah. I'm hungry, man. I'm fucking starving.
I know, right? Like I said, I've been up since 3:30, and it's about to be my damn dinner time. Oh, you're an hour ahead of me too, so it's almost 7 o'clock
it's almost
time.
7.
Shit. Well, are you one to do the whole promoting thing, like your Instagram or the Horathon, or?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if people want to keep going with the Horathon here, on Instagram, I post all the movies on there. Skipbassman. And then I got my YouTube channel as well, where I do some videos about things, and I have a whole video about the Horathon. So if you want to check that out. I think I'm just under Cameron Skip on YouTube. I don't know. I was told that one of my videos got blocked for copyright violation the other day. I can still see it though, so I don't know what this person was talking about, but I think because I used a song from a Japanese anime, and that's what got me flagged. So,
Did you? How long was it playing? Because I think you can do a good like 15 seconds before they're like, hey, you know.
I definitely did more than 15 seconds. It was
Oh
kind of like
shit! Oh, okay.
yeah, I was running out the video, and then I was just like, oh yeah, I'm just on there as Cameron Skip. So check it out. I'm on there. Like I can still fucking see these things. Where is it? Oh, did it get taken down? Motherfuckers.
Like, why are we gonna tell him? We're just gonna take it from him.
Right. Like I didn't get any kind of thing, any kind of notification. But yeah, YouTube is a bunch of assholes because they'll just do that. But anyways, check out those ones. Check out my other videos before they get taken down. I'm slowly starting to like get more people on board with stuff though that lets me use their music and stuff. So
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I know a lot of people in bands and stuff. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. I'm on Twitter, Cam Skip. I don't use Twitter a lot. Instagram's probably the best place. So
Skipbassman.
Skipbassman. Or Bassman. I don't know if you're a fisherman. Maybe you like some bass.
I prefer bass over bass.
Yeah, bass. Bass just sounds like ass man. So.
Oh, there was. You just reminded me real quick. You know who Donald Glover is, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. There was an old video. Like I guess it is old now. It's probably like 6-7 years old. He was on Craig Ferguson, and they were talking about like, hey, you know, I follow you on Twitter. It's like, yeah, I follow you too. And Craig goes, yeah, you're on Twitter at Don Glover, right? And Donald Glover goes, yeah, I didn't really think my name through though. And Craig is like, why? And he goes, well, because I put my name on there as Don Glover, but you look at it, looks like Dong Lover. There's a good like 5 or 6 videos. They might still be on YouTube of all of Donald Glover's appearances on Craig Ferguson, and they're hilarious because they have like a running gag that Craig is his dad and he's always going to visit his mom and stuff like that. It's funny. I seeing the both of them together, it's like, damn it, they really need to do something together.
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd enjoy that.
All right, sir, you go get yourself some food, as am I.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on.
Thank you for being on, man, for talking to me for 3 hours.
Yeah, no worries, man. Well, you let me know if you ever want bring me back on. Let's see how the finished product sounds, and then if it's complete shit, then maybe don't have me back on the show. But hey,
well, that's the good thing about having your own show. If it is complete shit and no one likes it, I can still make another one, put it out because it's mine.
Oh, there you go.
That's why I like it.
All right, man.
All right, man. Well, you take care, and I will talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good. Thanks a lot, Brad.
Have a good one, man.
Hey, you too. Cheers.